Welcome, welcome, guys, to my Love Island All Stars Season 2, Week 2. That is Peacock TV Week 2 episodes. We're here to episode 7 through 11. Yeah, guys, we're back to talk this season of Love Island All Stars, and with me to chat about it is Miss T Joy
Hi.
and Chantel.
Hello, hello. I we were talking about it a little bit just before we came live about this season and timing. Like we're all doing so many things, but we're not rushing to watch these episodes and get them done and get. So I like everybody, like you were saying, Miss T Joy, but I'm not as invested as I want to be. But
Right.
I like this season. I think it's better than last season. I do. But yeah, I wish a little bit more was happening.
I agree.
Or maybe I wish that the guys were better.
I could see that. Oh, hi, CJ.
Hi,
How are you? CJ says, hi, Miss T Joy, Chantel, and Tamika. Yeah, I can actually see that. I can see where the guys aren't what I was expecting. I know for a fact, like, I'm just mad at the fact that they brought in no real black guys. And at the last episode, we'll talk about the one black guy they brought in, and I was very upset. And we'll talk about it.
Hi,
V.
Hi, V. V says, hi, ladies. Haven't seen a single episode, but love it. We're trying. So I agree. I've been trying to keep up with the episodes, but also a lot is going on. I was watching them live on the UK time, and then I fell off because A, they got boring, and B, I've been so busy with my day job with my children. And then it was just like I was catching up on the internet. I was like, okay, I don't care about that. I don't care about that storyline. I don't care about that storyline. And then towards like the end of this week, the tail end of this week, stuff started picking up, and I was like, okay,
actual week, real week,
yeah, the episode 11 when Harry walks in.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's better. It's better.
Yes.
I forget where we are.
Yes. When Harry walks in, I was like, yes, this is where I wanted to see. And I felt like, okay, that storyline, the timing was perfect. The rest of these people, I can't. I can't. I don't know what they were thinking. CJ says, isn't the Love Island UK isn't tired of struggle black love? Because we are.
Obviously they're not.
Yeah.
And this, like, that's what's frustrating as well is that I feel as though what drew me into Love Island in the beginning, before it was a big hype show, was that I felt that people were there for these connections. They were getting together. I did obviously notice that the black love struggle was a thing, but it wasn't as apparent. And it wasn't another 8 years of them not doing better. You know what I mean? It was like my first experience of it. And so like, I was just enjoying it. And then you start seeing like, okay, another year, they're doing this again. And again, they're using the black woman as like the storyline of like not being chosen, not being interesting, not being loved, not being wanted, not being desired. Like, okay, again, we're doing this again. And now like, All Stars, we're doing this again. Like, what? Like,
if I was Catherine, I wouldn't even go on this show no more. After this, I would be like, just be done with it.
Well, the thing is, for the UK, I understand why we're seeing a Catherine. We saw a Kaz last year. And I'm going to say this. Kaz last year, she had probably worse than Catherine, I would say. No one came in for her, except for her ex. Right? And then he didn't pursue her. He went to another woman who has like 3 kids, and like there was never going to be.
I don't remember who that was. Who was that?
It was Hannah.
Oh my God, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
This was All-Stars?
Yeah, this was All-Stars season 1. So Kaz had really nobody who came in for her. Casey wasted her time. Like, it was bad. But I will say this. Kaz came off I feel like if you are watching her space, you see she's more in the influencer space. She's getting more deals. She got her bonnet line off. I think the money. Yeah, she has a
Why
bonnet.
is she wearing it in the place?
Kaz.
Kaz.
Other Kaz. Black Kaz. Kaz
That's
and
on the show
Tyler.
now.
No.
Kaz and Tyler.
Kaz
That was on
Kaz.
UK traders and stuff. That Kaz.
No. Kaz was with Toby at one point in their original season. Was that 7?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
7?
She was on the challenge too, I think.
No, this
she was on
she was on the challenge world. I swear she was.
No, this Kaz was.
This Kaz was.
Not this Kaz.
This Kaz dated Theo. It was on. She won world championships and she came back as a mercenary, and she won the challenge UK.
Yeah, I saw this Kaz on the challenge. The one that's on.
He was on the challenge UK.
So they both were. Oh, maybe she was out first. They both were.
She was on the challenge UK.
Oh, you said the challenge world. That's why.
Because then it fed into the challenge world.
But she wasn't on the challenge world championship.
No, the challenge world is a different one.
But she was on the challenge UK.
Okay, I don't watch the challenge UK. I thought you were talking about the world. I watched the world and then I watched the US one. And
the world was fed into by all the different USA.
But only the winners went,
only the winners of the
and the runner-up. So it was Kaz, this Kaz, and what's her name, Zara, that were representing UK on the world championship.
Danita's here. Denise says, "Hey y'all, can't wait to listen to my favorite ladies chat while I'm washing my hair."
You doing a deep conditioner, girl? That's what I had to do.
I know. I loved your hair when we did traders. I was like, oh, I can see. She just needs to shake her hair. It's glossy. Rachel's here. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
And Denise said she was coupled up with Curtis.
Right.
Which Kaz are we talking about?
Other Kaz. Okay. I'll show you what she looks like. I'll show you what she looks like.
Okay.
That Kaz.
Oh, I've seen her. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes.
So
it was for her last season. Yes.
Okay. So she was with Toby. They really didn't bring anybody in for her. She eventually went home. I will say, at least here, I do think that the producers tried to bring in somebody for Catherine. That person lied.
Yeah.
Because
we already knew what his type was, so why did they listen to him?
Because he did go for her on their original season. I will give him that. He did go for her. But we all knew that he was not going to do it. We all knew it. We all knew it.
Then also, though, we got stuck with the audience putting her with Nas together.
Absolutely. I was reading the comments during one of the public votes, and people were like, "Oh, Catherine has had her chance." But I said, "Had her chance? You guys coupled her up with Nas because they're both brown."
Right.
And then this guy walks in, and spoiler alert for the next time we meet, he didn't choose her. So how did he have her chance?
She didn't have her chance. And I was so irritated with that slow burner stuff. That slow burner, you don't want her. Stop lying. You're not that much of a slow burner. You didn't want her.
And I need to do a PSA. And news came out today. Important news came out today. Serena Page just got signed to the largest talent agency in the world.
Right.
The winner of USA season 6.
Yeah.
The one of the biggest seasons to come off. What did we have in there? We had Real Love. We had Black Love. We had actual friendships.
Yes.
That is what we want to see. We do not want this struggle that you guys are trying to give us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Make us believe it.
Well, and that's the thing too with like them thinking that this storyline is not played out. It's like everybody wants to see themselves on TV. They want to see that love is possible. They want to get behind love stories. And I think that's also why maybe I'm not feeling this season in general that much, is because I don't really believe in any of these couples.
None of them.
I think that, you know, I'm like, really, Ekin-Su, you're really into Curtis? Like, really?
Lies.
Like, this is all just for the plot. And
like, Gabby,
Alma,
you're really into him, Gabby. It's lies.
I don't know. Gabby's.
I think Gabby's into him, but I'm like, Gabby, he's a loser, and
he doesn't want her though.
Doesn't want you.
He's just playing.
Yeah, no.
And like, I was more interested in seeing Marcel. Marcel's still in this, right? Now at this point,
yes, no? He's still in this. Yeah, he gets
at seven. He's still in it.
Okay, he's still in it for a couple episodes. Yes,
but like, I did kind of like seeing a little bit of like Marcel and like even just him talking to Gabby, because they did have a real relationship. They did like each other, and like I found that to at least be interesting that they had a spark, and when they were talking, like they had familiarity and there was like a vibe, like it wasn't all just fake. And so I'm so confused as to why the producers think we want to watch these fake relationships and why they think that we're buying it. Like, I'm not buying it. And I can't believe that the closest that I'm come to buying it is going to be with Harriet and Ronnie. That's like, I'm going to be buying it.
And I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Of all people, Ronnie over here professing his love.
I will
I'm sitting up here like, really? And I'm he's saying it so much, he's starting to convince me. I'm like,
but I'm gonna be fair to Ronnie and Harriet. I felt that they liked each other on the season. He just was playing around, and we do see
liked him.
But I also felt like he liked her. I just didn't think he wanted to settle down, and then we kind of see that kind of played out on the outside. Make me feel it, Ronnie. Pursue her and let me feel it. Right.
And like, if you're gonna go with a hard pursuit like this, then I'll get on board. Because I like the action. I want to see the action. I want I want to see you try to make a love story happen, even if it's fake. The intention I'm fine with. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just sick of these like people just like laying back and being like, you're not doing enough. I'm not feeling it. Like, slow burn. Like, I'm like, that is not interesting.
I mean, the girl, she doing cartwheels. I just, something's missing. I don't want to seem like a jerk, but something's missing.
And the end of the day, too, on both your last season, listen, season 11 was trash, but last season, season 11, this season of USA, last season of USA, you had two Black women come off as your flagship winners. Mm-hmm. You had the two stars of your show. I don't care what anybody says. The stars of those two seasons were Mimi and Serena. Yeah. Period. And so at the end of the day, those are your flagship, and you're just throwing that shit out the window for no reason. And I'm not saying you're going to find another Mimi, and I'm not saying you're going to find another Serena. You definitely ain't finding another Serena. Serena's one of one. But I'm saying at least invest in their types of stories that will keep people interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely losing the Black audience, I would say, because it's like, all right, do we want to see, people that look like us be made to feel like they're not worthy?
Yes, because I mean, we got to hear this girl cry one more time. I just don't understand. I mean, it's anytime Luca got to give somebody a pep talk, we in bad damn shape. I'm sorry.
Well, or like actually we'll talk about it in the kissing challenge, but like, let's get into these episodes. Okay.
But Jessica makes a good point here. The flagship show has lost its sauce. It's sad to see. They need an overhaul on production and casting. I have to agree. So we'll look into more of your comments, but yes, I have to agree. So we do have new bombshell Tina, who, Lord Jesus, she did not bombshell. I need her to go. In the villa.
Are you okay, Miss TJ?
The way Tamika just said it, it was like she was like,
she did.
"Is that bombshell?" And I need her to go. The girl just got there.
I know. She did it. Like, I think that when she came in, things went like this. Like, I don't know. Okay, so they're playing suck and blow, and Curtis is first up, and he has to do different sex positions. Then Olivia has to.
Though. Sorry, guys.
And then Olivia, because why was he looking at Marcel?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Like, why are you looking at my ass?
And then Olivia has
Curtis. Do not look at another man in the ass while you
not during sex position. Okay. Olivia has to snog somebody. She snogs Luca because Luca, like, she knows him, and I think she likes him. Gabby has to kiss whoever she would couple up with if Casey wasn't there, and so she kisses Luca, which we knew, like, she's into Luca. Ronnie is there a girl who he would rather be with in the villa than Elma, and he says no, and Elma says because Harriet's not here.
Oh,
I don't remember that this happened.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't remember she said that.
Yeah, she said he's not going to say Harriet. She's not here.
Oh, yeah. She did say I didn't realize she said because she's not here. I did hear her say he's not going to say Harriet, but I thought she was meaning that like another way. Okay, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't catch that, but I did. I was like, oh. Because then they also later on, her and Catherine talk about Harriet, and I was like,
yes.
Did they know this was like what conversation was he having with Elma about Harriet? Because they seem to be very like on it, like about him and Harriet. So, Kaz, who do you fancy? They asked Kaz if she fancied. Oh no, sorry. Luca kissed the girl you fancy. He says Tina and Kaz. And then they ask Kaz, does she fancy Luca? And she says yes, but Luca's not actually open to it. And he's not. And then Casey has to tell the truth about him and Tina. They went to Antigua. They had sex. Apparently she left to go in the cab, and he didn't like walk her to the cab and make sure she got there okay. It was like he's so
is it the exact same thing he did to Georgia?
Yes, he's such a slime. I don't like him. He did apologize apparently to Tina, and she's like, but I could take another one, so he apologizes again, and I just like, please get him. I don't like him, but the public seems to like them. I don't
know why they picked him as the favorite. I'm confused.
I'm so confused. Casey, who is the biggest game player, he of course chooses Kaz because she was sitting right next to him, and it was just easy.
And they beefing anyway.
Yeah. Tina ranked the dates you went on, so she ranked Nas third, which we of course knew, Luca second, and then Scott first. And Scott was excited, but India is pissed. Yes, India is still here, guys. Sorry. India is
so pretty, but she offers nothing but her looks. I'm sorry.
She's asked who is most calculated, and she says, well, after now, I'm gonna say you to Scott. And he said, what? I've been so honest with you. How dare you? And she's like, well, I'm just saying nobody else has done anything to me. I thought we were in a good place, but it seems like you want to pursue Tina and she wants to pursue you. So I'm going to say you. And he's like, well, that's giving me the ick. She's like, we've been kissing in bed. Ooh. And you did a nice recoupling speech to me. And now you want a new girl the next morning.
Yeah, that's how they do.
He's like, but I've been so open and honest.
That's his favorite line to tell a woman after he done said something to hurt her feelings. I'm just so honest. I'm so direct. I'm just trying to be transparent.
And we
Sit
talked about
down.
it at
Sit
the
down.
end of the day. Scott and India came into this as friends, right? They were friends before the show.
Right.
So he even said in the first few episodes that if there was anything that was going to actually happen, it would have happened on the outside, but it never did. So he wasn't sure if they could move from friends. But I feel like he was placating her because she was really trying, but he really didn't want to be with her because he knew nothing was going to happen.
He was keeping her as a placeholder.
Yep.
He knew he didn't want anything with her. He knew it.
So he says he feels like he's been transparent with India, that it was disrespectful. And he chats with Tina about it, and she said, well, either way, she feels like their date was the best date, and she doesn't care who knows. And Scott is scared to pursue because he also doesn't want to hurt someone's feelings. So India tells everyone that he is the only one who's ever remotely done anything to her in here. And I get her. Like, I feel her. Like, she's going to make the girls mad at her because she's going to say one of the girls or one of the guys that maybe they would pursue her instead, when Scott is the one that has done something to her. She was absolutely correct. So Scott pulls India, and he does say he's sorry for shouting at her. And she says she understands why he was upset, but she feels like he's using it as an excuse because now he's like, oh, I'm off. I'm kind of off you.
He was going to be off her anyway.
Mm-hmm. He is. So
like Scott on his original season, I remember him and Katie, they had this like really tumultuous, like yelling at each other all the time kind of relationship. Mm-hmm. And he was always just trying to like grovel after her or whatever. But I just never felt that he was like wanted to be in like a relationship. Like none of these guys, I feel like on this season want that. And he never really gave off that energy of that. And so I don't know when, maybe it's in Vegas night, but
Vegas night is wild. Yeah.
But I just think that he does have ulterior motives for being on this season.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't been in a relationship in 10 years with the red flag. Yeah, I absolutely believe that.
I was going to ask y'all, what was he like before he was sober? Because he's kind of like a Luca, but he tries to hide it. He tries to pretend he's a good guy, but he's a jerk like Luca. It's just undercover.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm getting, but I never saw the original season. That's what I'm getting.
Right, that's why I was wondering. Yeah.
He was just a little bit more like, more like Luca, I guess.
Okay.
like a young Luca.
Right now. Like he was probably Luca's age then, right?
At that time, yeah.
He was 25. Yeah, I think he said. So, yeah, that's funny. Gabby says she doesn't care about all the girls that, when it comes to Casey, it was the past. She likes him, and all that matters is that, and time will tell if he's legit. And I'm like, okay, Gabby. Listen, her saying this, I do not want to hear when he dumps her outside the villa, when he embarrasses her outside the villa. I don't want to hear anything because she said that the past was in the past with Casey, even though, in my opinion, the past is about 4 or 5 girls now with the same story. And so at the end of the day, if you're going to leave the past in the past, don't then say, well, I probably should have listened because he did the same thing to me. Then I can't feel sorry for you.
Exactly.
And I feel like with Gabby, I think she has a really, really, really low self-esteem. And so I think she thinks that he's like a catch and like a hot guy, and she can't believe this like catch is interested in her when I don't even think that he is, but like he's giving her attention. Mm-hmm. But I wish she realized like how pretty she actually was. Like she's really, really attractive, but then with her kind of not standing up for herself enough, or in ways that like I would like to see it, it just brings her down to me. And like I feel like it makes her someone that people want to walk all over. Like we'll talk about it a little bit more, but like I don't like the way that Casey treats her.
No, it gets disgusting from there. Kaz and Luca chat and they agree to be friends with Benefice and they kiss. And they say that the kiss could have been better. He didn't put too much into it. Luca wants to kiss Tina and see how things go. And they agree that that's fine. He's open with her about him wanting to pursue Tina, and they kiss on the beanbags. Luca chats with Ekin and Nas, and he wants to pursue Tina, but's worried about Kaz. Scott and India rehash the game response again. She gets upset. Scott is over. I literally had to truncate because they talked about this whole game thing about 4 or 5 times for the next 2 episodes.
Right.
I don't even know what happened. Like, what happened
in the game?
In the game where
about her saying he was calculated, and then
yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Luca and Kaz chat and cuddle, and he wants Tina. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I'm just like, okay, Kaz, I get it. I understand. Listen, a lot of people are mad at Kaz. They're like, oh, she's being thirsty. I'm like, listen, she ain't got nobody in there. If somebody's willing to cuddle her, at this point, I would take somebody cuddling me right now. Just like what are you gonna do?
I'm not mad at Kaz.
Yeah. Gabby gets reassurance from Casey, and I'm like, you're gonna have to keep doing that because I think she's really insecure with him, and I'm not sure why, because to me she's the prize, and I don't get it. I really don't. Tina and Luca chat on the terrace, and he wants to be respectful of Kaz, and so does she. But he likes that she's showing what she wants. So he's like, I'm open to you. Mm-hmm. So my thing was with the conversation with Tina and Luca is like, Luca's obviously open to her, but it was very clear to me that she didn't want Luca. She wanted Scott. And Luca was just like well, if Scott doesn't leave India, then
right.
Which was sad.
That's what I got from it too.
Yeah.
Well, and also when you're coming in, you want to. She probably wants to beeline for Scott since some unrequited love story in the making. They never got to will they, won't they in their previous season, and so like now she has an opportunity to get with him, but she doesn't know where is at actually with India and if he's interested in her and like if he wants to explore something. So she's just having a backup plan. I don't think she's wrong for it, especially coming in as a bombshell. Like,
no, I don't think so either.
Tina chats to the pot stirrer Ekin Sue, and she encourages her to kiss Scott to be sure which one she wants.
Ekin she ain't everybody business, boy. She be stirring that pot. I mean, cooking night and day.
Please say it again. Cooking night and day. Oh my God. Scott asked Curtis his thoughts, and he says, I think you had no spark with it.
Facts.
And he says, and you had some with Tina, and now you scrambled your head. And Scott's like, yeah. Well, I'm not sure if Tina is forever, but could be fun for now.
That man don't want nobody forever.
Scott, you're 36. You're 30. You're 36.
Have you watched Later Daters? This man up there 70 still doing the same thing.
Oh
Some
my
of them
God.
don't change.
No. They don't get tired.
No,
they're not.
No.
Like it's just, I would just be so tired of playing those games.
I know.
Like,
I can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered. You will not.
All apps are gone. I'm like, I can't even bother swiping anymore.
Oh my God, same. I started getting all these conservative men liking my profile, mostly Hispanic, but some white, and I'm just like, in my profile, what makes you think that I'm a going to accept a conservative guy? Also, why do conservative men insist on pursuing non-conservative women?
I think it's something they want to do behind closed doors. That's what I feel like it's almost like a fetish or something they want to do behind closed doors. And I put a stop to it, a kibosh, as soon as it happens. I'm like, no, not me.
No.
It won't be this one. No,
Not me. Thank you. So Ekin chats with Olivia about Luca and her kiss in the game, and she also encourages her to go after Luca if that's what she wants.
Night and day.
And so Tina and Scott chat, and I didn't get much from that chat because I was just like, y'all are rehashing the same thing. Because just like that, India and him chat again, and I'm like, y'all are going over the same thing. Right. Like, it's obvious where we're going with this, but India and Scott agree to disagree.
She was annoying. Like she didn't feel it either, and so her and Elma, they both really have bothered me with how they've been dealing with these situations, because I'm like, you don't actually really like the guy, you just don't hate the fact that you don't have an option now. Right. And I get it sucks on these shows where you could potentially get dumped because you're not in something, but like, if you're there for the right reason, then you'll be happy that it's not working out, because then you know that you can go and try to find something else, you know?
Yes.
So,
right. So this is nighttime. Maya enters, chats to everyone. This is nighttime or daytime? I think this was
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's so long. So
daytime.
Luca, she talks to Luca, and Luca's like, you need to bring in more girls. There's no girls here for me. This is the man who is currently pursuing 2 girls.
Exactly.
Supposedly.
Exactly. He over there talking about Kaz and the Tina. One that just came in, Tina, talking about you need to bring in more girls for me. He mad because he can see that Tina really wants Scott, so he feel like he still need more girls. Like, I don't know. It was crazy.
So time for Tina to make a choice, and she does choose, not surprisingly, Scott. Mm-hmm. And because she chooses Scott, India is automatically dumped.
That was harsh.
That was so harsh, and you could see Maya turn her back and started crying. Like, you could see it. Like, she did not want to do that. I felt so bad for her and for India.
I don't think these shock dumpings are entertaining. We've talked about this before in other seasons. We're just like, bringing someone new and dump, and what makes them shocking is when there is something actually happening with something, or it's not. This wasn't shock. Like, it was just for shock value. It wasn't because like I was invested in their story or anything like that. It just was like, oh, I really wouldn't expect her to get dumped so soon. That sucks. Oh, yeah. Sorry, India. You didn't really get a chance.
Yeah, it was like she didn't get a chance. They just was just like, oh, bye. Like, shoved her out the door, and it's just, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Now, do you think that Tina chose Scott because the producers wanted to keep Kaz?
No, I think Tina was sent in for Scott.
Yeah, she came in there with tunnel vision. I think she wanted. Like, so it was very obvious after that date. She wanted Scott, you know.
So Alex, I think Alex from their season.
Dr. Alex?
I think so.
I don't know if he was from their season or not. But.
He apparently Alex.
Oh, Alex, that Alex. I said Dr. Alex the last time. We were talking about Alex married to Olivia.
Yes, that one. Tina was in their wedding. He said that Tina likes Scott. Scott is his type. Scott is his type, and Tina's his type. Blonde. So blonde. Is India blonde? No. And that he does feel like there could be unfinished business there because he's friends with Scott.
Okay, sure.
And friends with Tina. That being said, I don't feel like Scott is interested in doing anything with anybody.
No.
No.
He's there for something. He's there. I mean, I don't know. Fame, more numbers, followers, a brand deal, or something. It ain't to find a woman.
Well, I think that anybody that has blonde being the criteria for what they're looking for in a person, that doesn't include maybe any qualities about their character or how they make them feel. I think that he's not looking for a relationship. Like, yeah, of course you can say aesthetically, I like blah, 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 blah. But it would be nice to be like, oh, I really like Tina because she was so funny. And like, we used to have like such a good laugh together, but I was with whatever. And like, we weren't able to really pursue anything, but she always made me feel like whatever. Like, I need to know more than just the fact that you thought that she was hot.
Yes. Substance. I'm not getting that from this
From
man.
anybody,
I'm not
but
getting that,
from
no.
this man.
So yeah. Scott annoys me. Tina annoys me. I want both of them gone. Next we have the India telling the girls bye. Scott pulls her for a chat. She forgives him. They'll still be friends on the outside. Woo-hoo. I'm like, I want y'all both gone. Episode 8. Luca gets confronted about saying he doesn't like any of the girls in the villa. What the hell is wrong with that man?
What did you expect?
You're 25 years old.
He's the baby
Why
of the
would
villa.
you do that? Like, Catherine had to confront him, and she's like, well, you basically said you didn't like any of us, so he got mad at her. But she's telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
Ding dog.
Scott is excited for Tina. Doesn't want to pass up the experience. I'm like, I no longer believe you, Scott.
Hold on, let me ask y'all something because I'm trying to remember. But when India got cut, do you remember that Gabby turned to somebody and said, "It's so unfair." Somebody got cut, and Gabby turned and was like, "It's so unfair. Catherine and Nas don't have anything. Why is she going home?" And I didn't like that. I'm trying to remember. Was it when?
I don't think it was then. I think it was the next one with
It was probably the dumping at the beach. Have you watched Up to Date? That's probably
Yeah. It wasn't that because what was it? No, it wasn't that.
There was two. Okay, so there was 3 dumpings so far. There's going to be this one. Then there's going to be one in the next episode or the episode after with and then where a couple gets dumped.
And the one that I'm probably watching right
now.
now.
Okay, it's when the couple gets dumped. Okay, good. Okay.
I didn't catch that she said that. If she said that,
I think I do remember her saying that, to be honest.
Yeah, and I was like, really? Why Catherine in this? Like, why she hasn't gotten a chance just because she was paired? You're not with the person that the public paired you with. I just didn't like that.
I think she wanted Marcel there in case she ever wanted to go back to him if things didn't work out with Casey. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So yes, the girls are upset at Luca's words, and he goes and he cries to Ekin, and he's sad that Tina picked Scott. Well, this is the only thing. I will say this. Ekin was on his season. I do think that they have a camaraderie. I understood. And I understood why he would go to Ekin.
Yeah, Ekin's a little bit older. Like, she's kind of like mummy a little bit.
Yeah, and he has an older sister that's running his account, and she needs not to be. And so I get it. She probably is that familiar person to him. And his family says he is very emotional. We know that he has not dated anyone since Gemma. And that was what, 2 seasons ago now? 3 seasons ago. It was season 8. So
going on to 4, yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. But also that was your fault because why would you say that?
Exactly.
And I get you're probably upset and insecure that you not sure if somebody's coming in there for you, but guy, like, this is what Black women deal with every season. Exactly. And you didn't care during your season when that stuff was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I understood. Tina says it was probably going to be Luca, but she wanted the chance with Scott and she hopes he understands. He says he does. And I mean, at that point, I was just like, I wish she had chosen Luca, but the cast would have gotten dumped. And I know that's not what the producers were trying to allow happen yet. So, hey, Drive for Ruby. Drive for Ruby says these men are such duds. Yeah, I think it's the men. I think it's the men. You have the most oldest set of casted men.
Yeah.
Right? Like Luca's the youngest at 25.
Right.
These men don't want relationships.
They don't.
Or they are it like in a specific type that they want. And it's because it's not you. Why are you on Love Island? You know that that's not what this show is about. You can't just sit here and wait for your type to walk in. That's not how this show works.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like, remember, that's what fails with Bachelor in Paradise is when people are like waiting for specific people. Like, you're on these dating shows, date. Get to know each other, talk to each other.
Right.
Like, I think that they're all expecting to have these like maybe they want the Instagram relationship where they can do all these brand deals and they can that's what they want. Cool. But to get to that place, you got to get to the relationship first. You can't just put two people together and have people be like, "Oh my God, I want to see these two on everything." No, you actually have to put in the work to get the relationship that people want to see and give brand deals to. So I think they're all jumping the steps here.
And that was like my issue. I realized the issue was with like Michelle and Nate for that, won the Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She wanted a TikTok relationship. Like if you look at her and her fiance now, and this is not hate, right? Like I'm just pointing out aesthetics. Her and her man are always on TikTok together. They're posting deals. That is their relationship. I think that's what she wanted. I think that's what she saw. But then when you look at Nate's relationship with his girlfriend, they just moved in together. He took time. Huh? Yeah.
I don't follow him. Oh, okay. He got a girlfriend.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He's been dating the same person since as long as Rodney was dating his fiance. Like he's been with the same girl. They just moved in together. They combined their cat and their dog. But he shows her a little bit, but he keeps that life like private, really. And not because he doesn't he'll show her off every now and then, but because he likes a private life. When you're trying to combine those aesthetics into a relationship that is already not working, not gonna work. No.
Yeah. So now they're with who they should be.
They're supposed to be with, and it's but that again, when you're just dating your type, right? Like I think for both of them, they were each other's type. And if you look at who they're with now, they're nothing like the other. Right? So it's something about actually going out there and opening and broadening up your dating history and relationships. And maybe that is the person that you're supposed to be with.
Right.
So we do see Scott says he plans to put himself out there. And then he talks to Tina on the beanbags. They're really excited to begin this journey. He feels like, he should have always pursued her. I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, what are you talking about now? I don't believe you. All of a sudden he's raring to go with Tina. I don't see it. But at the same time, 2 new bombshells arrive. Grace from season 11 and Ron from season 9. And at this point, I said, stop trying to make season 11 and season 9 happen. Those were your worst 2 seasons. and they were your 2 most successful seasons, which was 8 and 10, where there was so much diversity on both seasons. Y'all not even pulling from those. You're pulling from your 2 worst. I can't.
Now, who was Ron with on his season?
Lana.
Well, yeah, they dated for a while.
And I mean, not a while. They did it for less than a year. And then he apparently dated one of the Casa girls that they had on their season. I didn't even know that. And he recently broke up with her.
Okay.
Now he came on the show. He like Luca. I don't care for this man. And I
don't care for him, but at least he is pulling people for chats. He's talking. True. He's funny. Like, he's showing like an interest. I want to get to know. Okay, but you know what I mean. Like, I want to get to know him. He wants to know people. Like, he's bringing energy. Like, nobody else is bringing any gosh darn energy. It's like, at least he's pursuing.
Jeffrey Ruby points out that they had a lot of people turned down. They had to because there's no way that this is your pool of people right now.
Well, like, probably from the more diverse seasons, they're like, oh, that was actually a rough go. Maybe I don't want to be a minority on one of these seasons again. Like, that kind of hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I will say this: Deji, season 8. Came back from Casa with India. Still very good friends with India and Dami. Was upset. He's like, send me in.
I feel they must have lost all the phone numbers of all the black contestants.
I think that sounds more
that must be it.
That sounds more accurate. Grace pulls Casey. What is with this Casey business? Why are we pulling Casey? Why are we pulling Casey first?
I know she knows he's been around the world and I
think the biggest question is why does she end up pulling Nas like multiple times?
I don't know.
He had a little tint to him.
And then all of a sudden he has like a little pep in his step thinking that he has a chance.
Oh, you're not a slow burner no more? You're not a slow burner.
So Ron pulls Kaz for a chat. So they all and now this is what we were talking about. Gabby starts spiraling. Oh my gosh, it's Casey. I know she's so fit. She doesn't care about like going for what she wants. And I'm like, Gabby, do you understand that you're Gabby?
No, she doesn't understand it.
Like, you're Gabby.
Like, she's just such a simp for an Aquarius. It's so wild. She must have some like as Aquariuses are. But like Aquariuses usually are like, yes, you can be insecure. Everybody can, of course, but we usually like being an individual than being like everybody else.
Yeah.
And so it just seems like she wants to be like everybody else more than like herself, and her being herself is so much more beautiful and entertaining and interesting. And so it's just very interesting to see kind of like the shadow side of an Aquarius, because I'm like, I don't really know many that are like this, you know?
Me neither, because usually even if they feel a certain type of way, they're not gonna let you see them sweat. They're those type of people that even if they were feeling it, you ain't about to see it. So you can have something over them and embarrass them. Nah, they're not those type of people. So yeah, she's embarrassing for y'all. Yeah.
PJ says that Gabby is either too naive or just too desperate. Why is she ignoring all the bright red flags? And Danita, fellow Aquarius, says Gabby had so much confidence on her original season. Like, what happened here? What happened?
Well, let me tell you, a man can't beat you now and knock it out of you. A man can do that.
What was your saying?
Huh?
What was the saying that you just said?
I said a man can't beat you down and knock it out of you.
Oh, okay.
You know, just with if you've been cheated on and done wrong, and the insecure, you start to think like, why do I keep getting cheated on? You're cheated on in the same hotel. That has to play with your. That can play with your mind and make you feel like, what do these people have over on me, or what do these people have on me? So maybe that's it. That's it.
But I think it's the low self-esteem that comes first that like allows him to even consider cheating on her, right? Like, she has to value herself in order for him to value her. Right. And so not that I think that what he did was right, and it's not her fault, but like how she treats herself, he learned from her. And so he learned that she can be disrespected.
Hello.
Uh, so we do see her Ron tell Kaz that he didn't feel she did anything wrong in the Elma and Ronnie situation. And I was like, okay, Ron, I kind of agree with you. Kind of.
This whole storyline, I was like, what's happening? Like,
I was about to say, I'm like, I kind of agree with you, but where are we going with this? Why are we doing this?
I don't even mind like him bringing it up. Like he was like sitting in a hotel room watching the seasons, seeing her going off on Ronnie because Ronnie kissed Kaz for like a second and like a whatever when they're still in the getting to know you stage, and like she kind of freaked out really unnecessarily, and he just was kind of saying that's what he saw. And so I didn't really have a problem with him doing that because he wasn't talking to her to pursue her. It just was like, this is kind of what I've been seeing. Like, it feels like you're kind of hung up on Ronnie. So, like, I don't know, like, that's it. But then how it transpired, I'm sure we're going to get to it. I'm just like, were you just trying to use this as an opportunity to pick up a storyline?
Yeah, because then we see Kaz like, says she likes how Ronnie chats. And I'm like, oh, is it because he just like bigged you up? Like, okay, maybe that worked. All right. Mm-hmm. Ron then chats with Catherine. He's been single 18 months. And Catherine's like, really? Okay. She said she really likes Nas, but she just needs to see more. And he's like, yeah, he can see that. I know the funny part with it was Ron who said, yeah, to Kaz, like, I was wondering if it was you or them. It was him. Was it Ron or was it Montel that said, I was wondering if it was you or them, but and she's like, it's them, babe. I think it might have.
Oh,
to Kaz.
I think that was Montel. That was Montel.
Yeah, Montel.
I was like, okay, again. It's a little bit of both, girl.
Well, I think that it's them in the sense that the guys are losers and lame, and I think that Kaz, to me, is like Kaz and Catherine are the two prettiest women that are in that villa for sure. And so the fact that they're not interested in Kaz, I don't think it actually has anything to do with Kaz's personality. I think it has to do with her short hair and the fact that she's ethnic.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
Like the short hair, but kind of like
I'm sorry right now. If she was in the US, she would sell off with that short hair that she has.
Like it's like what's her name? Bianca, Kanye's wife. You know what I mean? Like they all do these short. I mean, but I'm just saying, like people do these short hair. They're like vibes, you know, like they look good.
She's tall. She's has like
they're just not masculine enough to be able to handle it, I think.
Right, exactly.
It's so weird. That is so weird that like culturally she's just like put aside. But like if she was here, like I'm serious, I know if she was here, like everybody would be pulling Kaz right now if she was in the US. She's single person.
Definitely a catch.
Like if Rob from season 6 was there, he would go after Kaz. She looks a bit like Biba Doobie.
Okay.
With blonde hair. Danita agrees. The boys aren't feeling here and sad because she's a baddie. I agree. It's sad. Ron chats with Catherine. We said that. Grace pulls Luca. And then Gabby continues to spiral while Grace is talking to Luca, and I just don't understand.
Okay, I think I pulled up Gabby's chart. Yeah. I think it's because she's a Pisces moon. Pisces moon are going to be delusional potentially. They're going to be romanticized things, but they might not have the full picture. They're going to be brooding about things potentially, overthinking them, not analyzing in an intellectual way, but analyzing in like an emotional way. But then she has her Mercury's in Aquarius. So I wish she used more of that Aquarius energy. And then her Venus and Mars are both in Capricorn, which aren't really.
She should be more grounded than this, but I don't know what's wrong with her. Right? Like, so she's spiraling, and I'm like, Grace don't want that man.
No.
So Ron pulls Gabby. I was like, well, maybe this will help. And she says she thinks he's hot, but I don't believe her. I think she's only saying that because she thinks Grace is gonna take Casey.
Oh my god!
And I actually thought that she had better vibe with Ron when they were talking, but it could be because she was trying to making him Casey jealous, but like, so she doesn't have any like attachment around it, or she's just being able to be free in herself because she doesn't like him and doesn't want him to like her necessarily. So she's just being natural, normal, fun. I thought they had a good vibe. I was like, choose him. You guys would get along better.
She wants
toxic. Yeah, she wants
toxic. Yeah, because he says he thinks she's sweet, which is what he's looking for, which to me makes sense because that is who he coupled up with in season 9. Lana was the blonde girl next door, super sweet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, you could pull him, Gabby, if you want him. I mean, he's a Trump supporter, but we're going to talk about that here. She also mentions about Casey and him being on the same season, and they went after the same girl. So I also think it was a bit of a nudge to Casey.
Oh, okay.
But I was just like, oh, she's only doing that to make Casey upset, and it's just like, that's not the reason you should be doing it. You should be doing it because you want to get out of things with Casey, but she likes Casey. Grace chats with Nas and she says she wants a man and someone to take care of her. And I was actually surprised, not because of her pursuing Nas, because I do feel like from what we've gathered, Nas was that person, right? Like he, to me, coming into the OG cast was the catch of the season. But
Nas?
Wait, Nas?
Yes. Tell me who over Nas was better. He was in the longest relationship of all those men, other than Marcel, who also cheated.
Fix your face. Why is your face like that?
Because the whole time I was trying to. I was thinking that you had the wrong name.
Are we going off a resume because he was?
Yes, I'm going off a resume. What do you guys think that I'm talking about? I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about resume.
I thought you were talking about the whole thing, and like
what? Who has the whole thing? Which man had the whole thing?
Confused. It's just all of it. I'm confused. I was just like, none of them are. Who's the best catch or the worst? Like, I didn't enjoy Kaz necessarily or Nas on his original season. I didn't like the whole storyline with him and Demi, and then him being with the new girl. I was appreciative that yes, they were able to have a long relationship after, and they did their TikTok, whatever TikTok, their YouTube channel, like cool, but. I just didn't like how he moved. I just didn't like his energy. Yeah, he got into it.
But I watched it after the fact. I didn't have a problem with Nas. First of all, Demi did not like him. I'm sorry.
Well, Demi is another person that I don't care for.
Same. But also she did not like him. And I felt like he wanted Shanaz. She did not want him. And then he met Eva, and then they stayed together for 4 years. So I'm just saying, based on his resume of a Love Island resume, I feel like he was decent. Yeah, he was the most decent guy.
And I think if you're going off of relationship history, I think that is the best. If you're going just off relationship,
Marcel cheated. Scott is sober and has not been in a relationship for 10 years.
I think I'd go for Scott.
I would go for Scott too.
I'll go for Scott. I'm sorry.
You would go for Scott.
He presents better.
No,
I would find out later. I would find out later that I need to dump him. But initially, I would go for Scott. I really would. I'm sorry. That's what I would go for.
You would not go for Nas.
Why wouldn't I go for Nas?
I can't. Okay, so you'd have all this past history about him, and then so out of all the guys stepping forward,
I could also understand this.
Oh, Curtis, you're right.
I could also kind of understand going for Curtis too, but
I can understand Curtis because at least he can like salsa dance, and that could be
fun. I would probably go for Curtis. I forgot about that. You're right. That's what I would go for.
Scott has the domestic violence incident with Katie. Okay, I did hear that too.
What? Oh, okay. I would definitely go for Curtis. I forgot about Curtis.
I think Curtis or Scott, and then Nazir. I think I'd still go for Marcel before Nas.
Obviously, I could go for Marcel, but I also feel like Marcel needs to heal a little bit. Like, he kind of
fine, but like at least he's funny. You
But
know?
Nas would be like 5th or 6th on the list. Like it would be
not for me.
Nas would be before Casey. I think Casey would be the last. Then Nas
Casey
probably
would be the dead last. I would go for Ronnie before I went for Casey.
Ronnie, I'd go for Ronnie before I go for Nas.
I would probably go for Ronnie.
You always want to go for Ronnie secretly.
second. But I know that Harriet. See, I'm not Elma. I know Harriet is coming in, so I'm gonna go.
You know,
Marcel's a no-go. Oh no, Ronnie's personality is the I can see that, and I'm also a Taurus like Harriet, so he's a Cancer. He probably would vibe, but also
except he's been doing this whole like all the time, and
Nas is a Pisces, so again, water.
That's probably why you're interested.
And that's probably why I'm already like, You know how I feel, Virgo and Pisces. You know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm definitely
stand by what I'm saying.
Pisces.
But I would not think that Nas has the swag that Grace is looking for, regardless
that I'm looking for. Okay,
she was playing games. She did not want him. That's what I was saying.
As someone to take care of her, I get it, but girl, like I don't feel like you and Nas would be a vibe. But that's just me.
Nas perked up. He didn't seem like a slow burner when she pulled him. Did he? Did he seem like a slow burner to y'all?
Pursuit energy. He was giving like jokes, like making some inside jokes. Flirting.
Mm-hmm. He was flirting. I was annoyed. So she says she will give everyone a chance. I was like, we know, Grace. So nighttime comes. Ron says he wants to talk. He still needs to talk to Elma. It says because Ronnie is no competition. And then we see Marcel and Olivia chat in the evening. They're observing Grace and Ronnie. They don't think they are being too forward with their feelings to everybody, so they're not sure where they're standing. And I could see that. They did seem to want to like chat to everybody and kind of figure out who they wanted. And good thing they did that because the producers really didn't give them much time, really.
No, they didn't have much time at all.
Gabby and Casey agreed they really like where they are and they want to be honest and on the same page. Elma asks Ronnie what's up, and he says, hey, I'm gonna pull you and Olivia for a chat. And he pulls her first. And he says she needs to stop being wifed up with Ronnie. He doesn't deserve her, and she might need to give him Ron a try, and he wants to let her know he's open to it.
Well, this is going to kick off like World War III. And I'm like, I mean, I think that's a fair thing for him to come in and say. Little Leo is cute. But I think that Elma, wait, who did he say this to?
Elma.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that Elma doesn't want to hear that she doesn't have a shot with Ronnie,
she does not.
So she didn't hear any of the good parts.
Harriet is not there, so the person who should have Ronnie is Elma. That's all Elma wants to hear.
That's all she wanted. Yeah.
And see, like, oh, you guys are a good match. You guys are good together. Like, she just really wants him to be saying that, and he didn't hear, and she didn't hear anything else. So. Yeah. Elma's been annoying me, and this was the beginning of her annoying me because I don't think that Ron was starting up anything. And then how Ronnie handles it, I was like, rolled my eyes.
But that's classic Ronnie. He's always going to have his back up when somebody points out his bullshit. Just like a Cancer. Olivia chats to Gabby and winds her up that Casey is open. It's like, Gabby, you just had the conversation with him and y'all were good. Right. Why? How you letting Olivia wind you up? And we don't need that many pot stirrers in the damn villa.
We're losing.
Somebody got to get out of the kitchen.
We're good.
Although I did agree, tells her to stay open to Ron. But also, I just don't like the spiraling. I just don't like the spiraling
over Casey.
Over Casey. So Casey and Gabby chat again, and he feels like he may be she feels like he may be too unserious, and she's not sure that that's her vibe. And he says he's happy where he's at. He's just not closed off.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, he's not wrong. He's not closed off, but he's also not showing actual interest, right? So, like, that's what the issue is that she wants him to be showing like he's closed off, and he's not, because he's not into her enough. And so,
then if you get up to date, even after everything, he's still not trying to be closed off.
Exactly.
If you're up to date, like as of the beach, he's still not trying to be closed off. And she's over there like, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. Baby.
I don't get it. So we have a sash game, which I thought was kind of cute. And the sash had a label on it, and you had to put it on the person who you felt matched that label. And it, of course, caused all sorts of problems.
Of course.
So we had Casey got the heartbreaker sash and gave it to Ronnie. We had Ronnie get the jealous sash, and he gave it to Elma because she got jealous about him and Kaz in the secret garden. Then Elma gets sexy, and she gives it to Ekin. Ekin gets thirsty, and she gives it to Kaz because we know that Ekin is in some sort of war with Kaz right now. Mm-hmm. And then we see Kaz get bad communicator, and she gives it to Luca because yes. And then we get Luca gets vanilla vibes, and we know what that means, and he gives it to Scott. And I'm like, yeah and no. Scott's boring, but not vanilla vibes.
I thought he was, yeah. I was like, no, I didn't think he should have gave it to Scott.
No. Fit as fuck, or fit AF. They gave it to Kaz. Scott gave it to Kaz. Nas giving loyal. He gives it to Curtis.
You should have gave it to Catherine. She's still trying to be patient with your I'm a slow burner self.
Thank you.
That was like whack as hell for him to give it to Curtis. But go ahead.
Curtis gets the salty, and he gives it to Kaz. He says, because you were salty that Ekin chose me. And I'm like, yeah, she kind of was. But also,
come on, leave her alone.
Oh, they started on her.
You happily went with Ekin. Leave her be.
Right.
Marcel gets self-absorbed, and he gives it to Kaz because now Kaz is just the punching bag.
Yeah.
Dreadful Ruby also points it out here. The pylon on Kaz was rude.
Yes. Yep.
The guys were annoying me. Says Jessica, the sash game, they were doing way too much, giving Kaz all the negative sashes. Pissed me off. Gabby got passionate, and she gave it to Curtis, which pissed Casey off. Tina got clueless, and she gave it to Casey. Grace got predictable, and she gave it to Ronnie because again she entered into another triangle.
Right.
Catherine got stylish, and she gave it to Gabby. Ron got extra, and he gave it to Gabby. And then Olivia got friend zone and gave it to Luca. And then people start taking all the sashes personally. So in episode 9, we see Casey is mad at Gabby because she gave passionate to another man and confronts her about it. And she says, well, she was protecting herself. She didn't want to give too much too soon because, again, open, but also insecure.
Like, okay, it's fine that she didn't want to give too much too soon, but if you tell him that means it didn't work, and you didn't. You gave him all the information, so he knows that, like, oh, you really are into him, and you really wanted to give him the sash, but you wanted him to think that you weren't that invested in what was going on, so you did something different than you're actually feeling. But you just told him the whole thing, so now he knows that. So what was the point of you not just giving it to him? Firstly. And secondly, I've been noticing that what he does is he finds things to get on her about, so eventually he can drop her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's allowing these things to
look at that. She was so insecure that that like I couldn't do it anymore. The minute the girl that he actually wants,
absolutely,
he dropping her like a bad habit.
Yep. And I just the fact that like he's so upset, like, okay, like you don't need to be. She should have chose me. She should have chose me. Like, okay, but like you don't actually have to be that upset about it. It's not a big deal unless you're trying to find reasons to be hating on this woman or be annoyed with her or have something with her. It's manipulative.
Yeah. Never really points out that Gabby's fashion is terrible.
She looks okay, but she doesn't deserve the sash.
And I was like, well, the thing was that Catherine got the sash and she should have put it on herself, but she couldn't. So there you go. So what are you gonna do? But yeah. I was like, literally, the person holding the sash is the person who should be wearing the sash. And so she just says that at that point, that's what her thought process was. And he said, but he feels like he's been open and honest with her, and that he didn't understand why she would give it to another guy. Like he's really trying. And I was like, oh my god. So Scott and Luca talk, and he feels like he's moving slow. You think? And he hopes it's not a problem because that's the way that he would move in the real world. Yes, we understand, Mr. Haven't dated in 10 years. Luca encourages him, though, to kiss Tina. I think Luca's trying to live vicariously through Scott at this point. And Scott says, no, I will eventually. Then we see Ronnie and Elma chat, and she tells him Ron felt like she was overreacting to the Ronnie and Kat situation. And she also says that he felt Ronnie doesn't deserve her. And Ronnie thinks it's weird that Ron pulled her to get to know her, but yet was talking about him. It's like, okay, fair, but also, why wouldn't he talk about you?
He was like incessantly talking about you. He made that statement to her. It wasn't like the whole conversation was about you, Ronnie.
It was basically him being like, you deserve better. Like, give me a try, babe. Like, and the fact that like Ronnie got so bent out of shape, that was like classic Ronnie.
Because he didn't want Elma anymore. Really,
now protest too much, right?
Again, all these guys are like they're little tells of the little outs that they really want to take, but they can't because they're in the Love Island villa. Like it's like, here's the next one. Grace posts nods, and they talk cats. He's so enthusiastic about the cats, and Grace feels like that they get on really well, and he surprised her. I said, that's because he's attracted to you, hon.
Or like the idea of her, right?
That too.
All these guys, like, I don't know if it's the new era, new generation, but like, why don't I see the lust or the want or the desire for people anymore? You know what I mean? Like,
because they're not up there to really find love. They're up there to get followers and be famous and get like.
I don't know if that's what it is, because I do think even in real life, I do think men aren't acting like that, and that is why when we see somebody like a Cordell come on the show and he's like heavily pursuing somebody at 22. It's like, oh my God, look at what he's doing. Because people aren't doing that now. Like
that is true. Like I told Jamie on one
Allstars, remember the first episode when we talked, I clipped it. We said the same thing. They didn't get coupled up that time, but they sat in those couples and refused to like pursue each other for like a week.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It is.
These are grown men.
I know.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's very weird.
Like, don't they know how to pursue,
communicate,
don't
and
know if
court
they
and date.
do.
I don't know. They're acting
I
like they
don't
don't.
know if they do.
And I
Or
can see if these were 21-year-olds, but like we said, Luca is the youngest one at 25. These guys are older. They ought to know better. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Jessica says the Ron thing annoyed her. Ron made one comment to Alma, and the entire villa was acting like Ron was talking about it constantly to start a drama. Yeah, it was bad. I don't know if the villa is
because Elmo
small.
kept on talking about it, and it's like
Yeah,
he said one thing, girl.
it was.
Like,
Yeah.
wasn't a big deal.
And Rachel says too many men
Ew.
want to be pursued. They do. They do
They
want to
do.
be
They do.
pursued. They do want to be
Ew.
pursued.
But
And
they
Like,
don't though. But they actually don't, right? Because they
no,
get the
they
ick.
do. No.
They're
They
sassy and they wanna be
do.
pursued. They're
They
sassy.
do. What? Yeah. What did Serena call the sassy man apocalypse? They do. They do. And Rachel says season 6 gives us true yearning. They did. But also, I'm going to point out Dammy and India, season 8. The only reason why Dammy did not pursue India is one, because they were all three really close with, all four, Amber, Ikenna, and public had coupled them up. But Dammy wanted India from like early on, but they didn't know how to move. But once he got there, right? There, some men
And they're
get it,
still together, right?
and they're still together, and some men get it, and some men don't. And even he and her did a Tinder ad the other day, and they were talking about how the fact that she's so used to being independent woman, she had to learn to be just a little bit submissive to him, because he is like a Nigerian man. He does like to be a provider, but she's like, I have told him that, like, I want him to do this, and this, and he's like had to be like, well, India, if you want me to do this, and this, and be the head, then you have to let me be the head. But then he also does say, but I also like to be submissive to her, right? Like, I like her to also take care of me, and
they're cute together. Yeah,
they are. So if you do it right, you will get what you're looking for. But you have to pursue. You
Now,
can't
what
just stay here.
season were they on? Because this was before I was watching it.
Eight. Mm-hmm.
So we just finished 11, going on 12. So they've been together about 4 years.
3 years. Yeah, 3 years this year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
right.
They have to learn to pursue. If they want to be pursued, they have to learn to pursue. I feel like it's mutually beneficial for everybody.
I just think
I don't pursue a man. I don't pursue him. That's what I'm saying. They be thinking they the prize, and I blame their mamas for telling them that.
Well, this is the thing, is that, like, okay, I get it. Like, if you're in a relationship, there's going to be a back and forth. There's going to be pursuit here and there. Like, yes, there's going to be flexibility in the relationship. Absolutely. But I feel as though, yes, maybe they think that they want to be pursued, but I don't think they actually want the result, because they don't seem to like when a woman is like coming on to them, or like forcing them to do stuff, or wanting to have conversation, coming on too strong. They don't seem to like that. So I think it's just because they don't know what they want, and they don't know how to be a man, and it's really unappealing and it's boring to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely boring to watch. Jessica says, I will give Luca a little credit. He steadily pursued Gemma. We had all the thoughts of the motive, but he at least was focused. This is fair. But I also don't see him doing it here either. So there's that.
He puts it.
So is it because he had that experience in season 8 that now he's not doing it in this season? And I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
if you fall off the horse, you got to get back up again. You came back on the show, so you still got to do the pursuing. You don't come back on the show and not do the pursuing.
Well,
and this is
the thing. I think the dating apps
was very
is
appropriate. He's a bad communicator. That stash was appropriate for him. He does not know how to properly communicate, and that's another thing that I think hinders these men from actively pursuing. They don't know how to properly communicate. And we've gotten to doing all this texting, and you don't even talk on the phone. Some people don't even talk on the phone. Literally, they have a whole relationship through texting and IMing and DMing, and they don't talk on the phone. So people don't know how to a man doesn't even really know how to approach a woman properly without sliding in her DMs or hearting her picture. And so that's a
Fire
problem as
emoji.
well, or putting fire emojis. I mean, you
I
have to.
I will say this. I'm going to say there are bright lights out there because Darian from The Circle, literally all he did with Jadasia was chat to her on, like, they didn't get to talk. He never
I
heard
think
each
it's a
other's
little bit of
voice,
a different scenario.
but
Don't you talk on the show? You talk, right?
no,
On The
you never
Circle,
talked
no, they only communicated really through
with
like
electronic. But once
Oh,
they
I
came out, she ghosted him and he went after her.
exactly. It's kind of like what
He
Jessica's
pursued
saying
her.
here, right?
Yeah.
Guys don't actually want to be pursued. It's just not in their biological nature.
So
From my
Jessica
experience.
says she agrees with you, Chantel, that it applies to Ronnie and Harriet. Harriet was pursuing Ronnie last season. He kept playing her. Now she's giving pushback and he's in love. And I agree. And that's what I said. But also, Harriet's a Taurus. And we don't, first of all, we usually don't spin the block. Second, second of all, that is what we're going to do. You have to show me something absolutely totally new or I'm out. Like you have to be a totally different person, basically. You have to be a totally different person.
And you have to make sure the man pursues you. That's the only way you know that he really likes you like that. Because if you're the one pursuing and chasing, you just never know. I just don't believe in that. You got to pursue me.
I mean, it works for some women. Some women do it, and they last a very long time. But I mean, I think it depends on the personality. What I'm saying for this show is none of these men are doing, like, not even one of these men are doing it. Casey could say he's doing it, but I'm not really feeling it. And Ron is doing a little bit, but I just also don't feel like the person for Ron is there.
Ron is doing it the most out of anybody, in my opinion.
Right.
I think he's having conversations. He's like flirting. He's joking. He's laughing. Like I think he's trying at least. He's showing me the ability to try to pursue a woman,
Right.
but he doesn't really have anyone in there to check for him. Check for. So
yeah. So Casey confronts Gabby, says that he feels like he did everything right, feels like Gabby didn't give him any reassurances at this point, and then gave the sash to Curtis, and I'm just over this whole thing. Over sash. Olivia and Luca chat, and they agree to be friends. She does confront him that he didn't even try with her, and he ITMs that she was giving him like so much openness, which surprised him because he thought that she was good with Marcel. And I was like, no, she wants you. She's just with Marcel because there was nobody else. Exactly. But he says he likes Grace and he likes where he is with her and he wants to pursue Grace. Ron chats with Kaz on the terrace and she talks about her hair being short. And this is when we find out that she did, yes, cut her hair for charity. And Ronnie confronts Ron on the terrace, but they agree to be cool. I was just like, I'm over it. That entire narrative. Olivia likes Marcel, but feels this pull to Luca and chats with Ekin about it. And of course, Ekin is telling her to fight. And Luca talks to Curtis and he says he can tell something is there, but likes Grace and thinks that Grace is the person he needs to pursue now. And he really wants to get to know her. And with Liv, things are a mystery. So he's conflicted. It's like, that's an interesting dilemma. Would you go for somebody who you not sure what the vibe actually is? Because it's clear him and Olivia had a vibe. I just think that they're just not sure what it means, especially since she was dating his friend on the outside, or with somebody that's clearly you two are understanding that you probably want to pursue each other. Would you go for the mystery?
Who is she?
I would have went for Grace. We're talking about Luca and Grace versus Luca and Olivia.
Yeah, she's with Marcel. Olivia.
Oh, sorry. You said his friend on the outside. You're talking about that, or about?
No. I'm talking about in the villa. So the reason why he says he did not pursue Olivia is because Olivia dated his friend on the outside.
And so you got to stick with that. Your first gut initial instinct was, nah, I don't want to fool with that because she don't mess with my friend. I really don't want to go down that route. I don't really see it for her. He made it very clear he didn't see it for her for that. Then she started dealing with Marcel. Then she was giving him an eye. They talking
Yeah,
about
that's
something
what like
like
Jessica's saying here. Olivia's throwing out bait, hoping Luca would take it, and I was kind of surprised he didn't go there. But I think he thinks she's too similar to Gemma, and they both give a little ice cream. Actually, I could see that. I can actually see that. I can see that.
I think you just got to go with your initial instinct and just be like, nah, I'll go for the short thing. Me, I'm feeling great. She feeling me. I'll just do this.
Which it sounds like is what he's doing.
If I was playing producer and I was just trying to be messy, I would probably go for Olivia just to, get the storyline, get the plot.
The Ekin.
The Ekin. But if I was going for actual like seeing how a connection is, I would do Grace, especially because like he probably never thought there was a chance that he could actually get Grace. So like, let's go for it.
Right. So Elma and Catherine chat, and Catherine feels like everyone has someone, and she doesn't feel wanted. Like she wants a physical reciprocation of where she is with her partner. And so I guess maybe her love language is physical touch, because she does seem to be discussing a lot more of the physical, but then later we do hear her say that she also doesn't think like he's pulling her enough for chats as well. But here she seems to be talking more of the physical, like him holding her hand and that kind of stuff. She says she doesn't want to confront him about it, but she's starting to realize that she really needs that, and she tears up. Now, this is my thing. I did feel so bad for Catherine, but I also feel like it's a good thing for her. I feel like with Catherine, the last time she let a lot of things revolve around her and didn't really like say, this is what I want. I don't care what anybody else has to say about it, blah, blah, blah. I do think her being in the villa this time is helping her get to that place where she's just like, no, I'm not playing this game. This is what I want. This is how I want it, that kind of thing.
I mean, it's probably because she's settled for Nas and she's trying to make it work because the audience put them together and he's a slow burn. So like, okay, she's going to be open to that, and she's getting to know someone new. And so like, this is how he moves. So I'm going to move at his pace a little bit. But yeah, I agree that she's also learning that like, okay, well, that pace isn't working for me. Right. Especially when you're seeing other people that start at the same time that are getting to know each other in a way that the person that they're involved with knows that there is some interest there. And when I was recapping this episode, I talked about the fact that why won't Nas just like show her that he likes her a little bit? A little bit. And I was even saying like, you're sitting beside her on the couch, put your arm around him. Like I put my arm around like my best friend, or I'll lick my best friend's arm sitting on the couch.
Me too.
Something like that. You don't need to be making out, but you can show somebody that you enjoy their company, or like you see them in the morning and you give them a hug.
Yeah.
Ooh, like you don't have to be super sexual or be moving super quickly to show just a little bit of gestures to say that you're a little bit interested.
Yeah. Right. He said week one, he did not want to give her too much because he didn't want her hooked on him. And she's like, I'm not going to get hooked on you.
You and not
if
cocaine.
I did, I let you know.
You are not cocaine.
So we do see.
I was like, what, sir?
If he said that like flirting, I could get behind it, right? If it was part of his.
Yeah, no, he was dead serious.
No, he was serious.
And this is you want, Mika. Okay.
Yeah, listen.
Sorry.
Luca and Grace chat, and they want to continue to get to know each other. They like how things are going. Grace does pull Casey, and she wants to get to know everyone. She doesn't. She didn't test the waters that much on the outside, so she's not been dating, and she's not really been like really pursuing anybody. I guess she's not a dater. Which I don't know. I don't remember how old Grace is, so I don't know if that's like, is that just normal? Gabby, of course, is concerned, but everybody's reassuring her, no, you're still his number one. Like,
my
it's
God.
okay. No, it's just like, oh my fucking God. Like, girl.
It's like to get reassurance over a loser is just like
Rachel says, I'm happy Kat stood up for herself. I feel like she's so hesitant because the tacky UK fans dragged her last time because she decided to leave her couple. Exactly.
yeah.
So
she
I
has
was glad that
PTSD.
she did pick up. And Danita says Naj should have watched season 6 of USA to see what a real soul burner is and how to move strategically. Yes. Luca and Olivia chat, and she says that things were weird before, and they do agree that it got a little flirty. But she says she's happy with Marcel, and he says he's happy getting to know Grace. So they don't want to cloud.
So why y'all still having this conversation?
And that's what I said. All of these circular conversations, I was like, is nothing happening in the villa? Can we like get to some, like, just cut all of this out?
Boring. Mm-hmm.
And Ekin chat, and they're happy. He's happy with where they are, and he doesn't want to go too fast. And then they get a date to the alpacas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Which
that.
she's scared of.
I
couldn't tell you what happened. Didn't watch the date. Sorry. And then they come back and get ready for the night, and then we see Scott and Tina kiss, and we see Elma confront Ron for telling her how she should have lived her experience in the villa, and I'm just like, please,
you know what, Elma?
Wanted a moment. That was so stupid. She just wanted a moment. He did not tell you how you should live your experience. She's making up
He's
stuff.
just warning you that you should be embarrassed. That's what
is her sign?
Elma?
She's Cancer.
I think she's a.
Should have known.
Because her and Catherine get along really, really well, and so yeah, she's a Cancer, anyways. So her and Ron are both Cancer. Ronnie are both Cancer.
Ronnie and her are Cancers, and so is Catherine. Yeah. So there's a text. Gather at the fire pit. Time for Grace and Ron to choose. And Ron chooses Kaz, and Grace chooses Luca. And therefore, those 4 couples are all, or 4 individuals, are all exempt from the public vote so that they can dump somebody. Yeah.
I just wish that, like, I thought that it was going to be good for Ron to be with Kaz. I was like, you know, like, I think they have like a banter going. Like, I think that like maybe they, you know, it would be good between the two of them. And so I was actually hopeful for her. I was like, oh, this could be okay. Like, let's see how this goes, you know. And I spoke too soon, or I thought too soon, because did it dead at the next episode?
I mean, as soon as the next episode came.
Yeah. So after her recoupling, Grace and Luca chat, and he's someone she would go for looks wise on the outside. And people are like, what are you talking about? She only likes black men. I'm like, she dated Joey Essex, guys. Please. Like, she obviously has more than one type.
I mean, I think that she prefers black men, and I think or successful. Like, I think she thinks that.
Like,
yes,
she dated him because he was successful. Like,
yeah. Well, and he is also, I think, in her head, some sort of good looking. I don't know, because there's no way I would.
And they already had history before from that dating show like a decade ago, so it could be this like the Tina Scott type of situation where it's like, oh, like, let me get with this guy. And now he's kind of famous, even more famous. Like, yeah, I think that's why she's attracted to Joey, not because he's good looking.
Yeah,
and she knew him before the veneers, so.
Yeah, they had that on day, right, or something.
Yeah, Ron and Kaz are happy to be coupled up. Again, short-lived. Casey and Gabby are happy to be together. They love the direction they're going with. And then we see that they're chatting about Ronnie and Elma, and they both feel like he's not as into Elma. And I do agree that he's not as into Elma.
Right.
Apparently, he also told Casey, which wrong move, that he thought Tina was fit. And so Casey decided that he had to tell that to who? Gabby. For her to do what?
Tell
Tell
Elma.
Elma.
Yeah. So Elma and Ronnie chat again, and Elma is not sure where they are. And he reiterates he likes her. He likes where they are. He's open.
Right.
And she's like, listen, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure. And he's like, yeah, no, we're okay. Kat and Nas chat, and she says she understands that he's a slow burner and they're going at his pace, but she feels like he isn't putting enough effort in. And she's like, I see kind of how you're moving, and I'm not like really fond of it. And he's like, well, he just feels like that since Grace came in and she's a bombshell, she's been pulling him. And she's like, yeah, but you've also been talking to the guys about how you're feeling, you know, talking to me about how you're feeling. And she's like, as well as like the physical part.
Right.
So you're talking to everybody else, but you're not talking to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then we see Gabby tell Elma that Ronnie said that Tina was fit, and Ron hears it while he's with the boys, and he's like, "What's happening?" And she's telling her that you thought that Tina was fit. And he's like, "I don't understand what's the issue. I also think Gabby's fit. What's the problem?" And I can't stand Ronnie because he's hilarious. And I'm like, why are we doing this? So we do see Grace and Luca go up to the terrace and they kiss, of course.
That was I had secondhand embarrassment, cringe with like going in, but then like they weren't in a good position, so she had to move and change her position to have
so
this,
I haven't liked any of their physical interactions. I'm going to tell you the truth
because they don't like each other,
and it was just not good.
I don't like any of their physical interactions so far, so I don't know. I thought it was just me, but good to know it's not me.
I was like it's not good.
Ronnie, not Ronnie, Ekin and Curtis chat, and they decide to be closed off in the villa. And I was like,
already?
You think we're stupid? Like how stupid do you think we are? We're not stupid. Please, Ekin and Curtis, one date and now y'all are closed off. So the date was the trigger. That's we got the date.
The date with the alpaca.
That means they like us on the outside. No.
You're the only couple in there.
You're the only real couple in there. And now you're about to ruin it because you're closing off date 2.
Mm-hmm.
So now finally Ronnie and Elma chat again, and she's mad that he said that Tina was fit. He said, well, I said it to my boy. And she's like, well, that's muggy to me. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, but she's coupled up with Scott. I don't understand the issue. And he said, well, if he wasn't with Scott, would you want to be with her? And she said she's over it. And I was like, I am over y'all. Harriet.
She's making a mountain out of a mole. It's just, it wasn't a molehill, right? It just wasn't, it was not that serious. It was not that serious. He didn't say he wanted to get with her.
I don't. But also, I don't know. Some women have a problem when men admire other women. I don't.
Well,
I will admire them with you.
Me, I'm like, isn't she pretty? I don't. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me.
Well, obviously it's an insecurity thing, but even how he said it wasn't in a way that should be if he was like, oh my God, she is so hot,
right,
he wasn't saying anything like that. He was just like, yeah, she's a good looking girl, she's fit. It was kind of like a throwaway from what I remember. And she's thinks it's so muggy. I'm like, oh my God, this conversation's so muggy. I'm offended.
So he complains to Grace, Ron, and Kaz, and they're like, I don't know. They just sat there listening. Tina and Grace talk later, and they talk about each of their kisses, and they both like their kisses. We do see Elma refuses to cuddle Ronnie in the middle of the night. So the next morning, we see that Nas makes Catherine oh wait, no.
Well, that wasn't his idea though.
No. Sorry. Nas sees that Catherine is giving him everything and it's basically putting everything in his court. And we see that Marcel is like, he likes where things are with Olivia. And we see that Scott tells him that Luca has a thing with Olivia. And Marcel's like, what?
I feel bad
like,
for this part.
Yeah. He's like, but nobody told me. Neither of them came and told me that. And they're like, well, Scott's like, well, if it was me, I would want to know. And so he goes and Marcel pulls Luca for a chat. And Luca does explain the like weird eye contact thing that happened. But at the end of the day, they both agreed that she's into Marcel. And he's into Grace. It's nothing deep. He's like, all right, I'm just checking because, you know, I thought you were my boy and you didn't tell me. And I just don't want it to be that I'm being.
They're not your friends.
Yeah. So then we see, I didn't get the whole how we got to the fruit platter stuff. So
I think it was Ron was making a fruit platter for Kaz. And then that's when Nas walked in and saw it happening. And he was like, oh, I'm going to do the same thing. And so he put some things on a plate. He was like, oh, I'm inspired by like, oh, look at, there's a nice gesture. And do you see how happy that little...
He was so happy.
He lit up.
So happy about that fruit platter.
Smiling from ear to ear. Like, oh, it's so sweet. Even Olivia, when he comes over and brings a plate, is like, oh my God. Like, it's so nice to see a gesture, a very simple gesture. He didn't even have to cut anything up. He put a full thing of grapes on a plate and she was smiling.
And like, that's how you know she wasn't even getting the bare minimum because they happy over fruit platter. Remember later, Gabby was like, you think because he put a banana or some fruit, you should be moved by that? Like, you know what I mean? Because it was so bare minimum. But she was so happy because she just wanted anything. And
it does show that he was, even though it was inspired by somebody doing something else, he was thinking about her enough to want to do it. And that feels good. Like, why doesn't he just want to make her feel good? She's a nice person that is willing to be entertaining you. Like, don't you want to just be nice? Like,
I don't know.
Like, do these people not know how to make friends?
To her at all, and he doesn't want to lead her on because he knows he does not want her.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the thing, like, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have enough experience. But you could even still be nice to her and pursue a friendship or whatever, like a real friendship. Like,
well, I said, if this is how he treated Eva, I understand why they broke up.
Exactly.
If you're not doing these, even the little things, little and the big things, I see why they broke up.
Years. I don't know. I wonder how they lasted 4 years.
Sometimes you just take what you're given and you just like, it'll change or it'll get better. Mm-hmm. And then it never does. I know that from experience, right? You do what Catherine does, talk about it and try to talk about it, and you hope that what you're saying, the person will hear you. Ultimately, like, even for me, what I come down to is if the person doesn't value you as a person, they're not really going to want to do those things, right? So for me, like, I had that with my ex-husband. He never was intentional about doing certain things unless, like, it was just like, oh, this is what I want to do. And a lot of times it had nothing to do with me. It was just something that he wanted to do. So he would, like, go out and buy me a bag, right? But it's like a bag I would never wear. Mm-hmm. Or he would buy me lingerie and it would be lingerie two sizes too small. There's no actual intentionality behind it, right? And so at the end of the day, it wasn't about me ever because he didn't value me as a person, right? Because then you would be more intentional about making sure that, oh, it fit me because, you know, I just had a baby. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, that's what I realized. But it took me a long time to realize that. Otherwise, I was just like, well, why can't we do this? Why can't you do this? Why can't we do this? Why can't you do this? Why? Like, for years, And now my line is that I'm not doing anything with anybody where I don't feel like you are pursuing me and you're showing me intentionality behind what you're doing with me.
Right.
Because I lived it. I already lived that. I'm not doing that again. I would have just stayed with that person. But it takes time for you to realize that. Like, I mean, 4 years that is, especially if you're not like married or engaged.
When you're young, you're like 22 to 26, like, you know, you think you're in like some real love story, and
So Marcel confronts Olivia about the Luca flirtiness, and again, she says that it's just eye contact and nothing else. Now, this is the only thing I don't agree with her, because it was flirt. It was flirty on her behalf.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's like, what is going on between us? She's flirting, but she downplayed it.
And she's like, no, she's into him, and I'm just like, it's not true. And I feel bad for Marcel. I do feel like for him being in this experience, it was a good experience for him, because I feel like it broke the ice.
Yeah.
For him, because he hadn't dated, he'd been separated, he stayed separated. I think, him going home and now he'd be able to date and find somebody, because he broke the ice of dating.
Yeah,
I agree. Right? And he seems like a cool guy. Like, he will actually pursue a girl that he's
I think so too.
So we see nighttime, and Marcel says he just wants, I forget what that word is. I have bias. I don't think that was the right word.
I can't remember.
This was the nighttime conversation, and
he had with Olivia. He just wanted them to be on the same page.
Yeah. He was talking to the boys, and I can't remember what he was saying, but yeah. Luca and Grace then chat and about the eye contact, because she finds out and pulls him, and then she also brings up Kaz for some reason, and he says, well, the only person he's concentrating on is her. And she's like, oh, well, the thing is, I know we just coupled up, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Like, you're not pursuing Kaz, you're not pursuing Olivia. He's like, where would you hear that I was pursuing Kaz? We were friends. I don't understand, like, where the Kaz comes in. He barely even touched on the Olivia thing. He was upset about the Kaz thing. So then he goes to confront Kaz. And I was just like, huh?
Who, Casey?
No, this is Luca.
Luca.
Oh.
And so he's there trying to pull Kaz for a chat, and she's like, why am I going for a chat? There's nothing for us to chat about. You're with Grace, I'm with Ron. What are we chatting about? And Catherine tries to help her, because she's like, no, I think everybody understands you're with Grace, you're pursuing Grace. Nobody thinks you're
this is so weird.
Kaz. And then Kaz gets mad at her for supporting her.
Well, it was because it was the wording of it, what Catherine had said. Hold on, let me just try to remember how it was.
Oh yes, they were all sitting there, and then Catherine was like, well, I was just trying to help.
She was saying we all know that. She said something and was grouping in Kaz's perspective without it actually being Kaz's perspective.
And she was like, I can talk for myself or something.
And so Kaz did kind of snap at Catherine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit rude, but it was because Catherine was kind of speaking for Kaz, and it wasn't what Kaz was saying. And so she just was kind of annoyed that she's like, well, that's not what I mean. Like, I meant what I said. She was like, what was it? She says that, I can't remember the exact phrasing.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But there was a little bit of a little spat that went between Catherine and Kaz for a second.
Yeah. So everybody understands that Grace is his priority. And he's like, I was just like, oh my God, can we move on? So next we have a text can everybody gather around the fire pit for votes results? And then they give the bottom three couples. The bottom three couples are Catherine, Nas, Elman, Ronnie, Marcel, and Olivia. Anybody surprised at that bottom three?
No.
I wasn't either. But there's only going to be one couple dumped that night, and the couple dumped was the correct couple, Marcel and Olivia.
I was hoping that they'd split some people up and just get rid of Nas, maybe, and
not this time around. I knew it was going to be probably. They already dumped a girl. It was going to be a couple dumping. They kept 4 people, so at that point there was just no way that they couldn't just dump a couple. And I personally felt like Olivia needed to go. Luca was not interested in her. She was interested in Luca. She was not really interested in Marcel. Marcel needed to, I think he did his job done. He needs to go home now. He went home to his son. They had a really cute reunion on Instagram, on his Instagram. So if you go watch that. It was very cute. But yeah, I just think that they didn't need her stringing him along no more.
So I gave them with an over and under for 2 days. So did they make it past 2 days? Are they still dating, or did I win when I chose under?
I don't know. I don't think that they're. I don't know. I didn't listen. So they did an episode on the official podcast, and I would have to see what they're saying their relationship is. Joyful Ruby says, now that you say that, Marcel was the most serious about an actual relationship out of the guys, seemingly. See, it does kind of feel like that. Jessica says, Catherine said something like, we all know how Kaz is, kind of dismissing her opinion. Catherine did start off right by saying that that's just Kaz's opinion, but then she kept going.
Oh.
Okay. And Danita says Marcel got dragged a lot pre-show / first few episodes, and he turned out to low-key be the best guy there, and I agree. I do agree. Listen, proud of him. So hopefully he finds his person. CJ says it's time to move on from Allstars. Make it Love Island games instead. That way no one is forced to participate in the love aspect. But they were forcing people in Love Island games too. I don't know.
I do think Love Island games was fun though.
We'll see how games ends up, because I mean, I don't personally. I think if they were trying to do it as a couple thing, that it would be different. But I don't even think they're going to be able to get the amount of couples that they would need out of that. We know, I doubt PPG would do Love Island games. So I like, how many couples are they going to be able to get out of this? So it would probably be individuals, and then they're going to want to have them try to couple up for love. And I just think it's stupid. Jeffrey Ruby said that they have plans to see each other and continue their relationship on the podcast. So it's still more than 2 days then.
I'm looking it up now and see if they have social media stuff.
So in episode 11, we see Elma and Ronnie chat about being in the bottom. They thought that they were going to be the ones to go home, but they're just happy that they weren't in the bottom, so people see something in them. And I was like, no, it's really because Marcel and Olivia needed to go. I'm sorry.
And that's when Gabby said, because she was upset that Marcel was leaving, and that's when she said it should have been Catherine and I.
Okay. I didn't catch that part. The part I have that she said she was sad to see Marcel go because she's really glad that they came to an understanding after everything, and now they're friends. But I have that she says she does feel sad about Kat and Nas being in the bottom because they're not clicking. So she said something additional to that?
She's in 10, when it first happened, in 10, when they were like the couple going home, she was upset. She turned to it was either Grace or Ekin.
Elma?
Huh?
Oh, I was going to say Elma. Somebody sitting.
She turned to somebody and she was upset. And she was like, it should have been Catherine and Nas. They're not even, they don't even have a connection. They're not even, clicking or whatever. And she was like, at least Olivia and Marcel were trying to have some, she was basically like complaining and said it wasn't fair. And she said it wasn't fair.
Was it just for the bottom three, or was it for
I think she's saying the couple that should have been dumped.
The couple that got sent home was Marcel and Olivia, and I guess she wanted Marcel to still be there, and she was saying it should have been Catherine and Nas.
Because because then after she was upset, she's like, I haven't had this experience without Marcel being here. I haven't, like, I've only been on Love Island with Marcel, and so now he's not here. So yeah.
Rachel says, yeah, I remember Gabby making that comment. She needs to focus on the F-boy she's coupled up with.
Exactly, Rachel.
Period. So Kat says she doesn't want to be in this position again to Nas, so they will keep focusing on trying to move into a good direction. That's the one thing I love about Catherine. I've always loved that about her. She is very positive, not toxically positive, but she just does like put her whole full being into things. Like she's so vibrant about things, and I hate when people dim that for her. And so we kind of see she's trying not to allow that to happen this time, but very hard. Kaz and Ron go to the terrace because he apparently thinks that they're going to kiss.
He does.
Oh,
he
man.
does.
I thought so. I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, let's see if he has any swag here. Like, see if he's gonna be able to create a moment. I was hopeful for him.
I had no.
I didn't know she was gonna curve him like that. I didn't see that coming. I thought she liked him. I thought they was gonna kiss too.
Oh, so I'm the only one who didn't think that there was a kiss coming.
She curved.
I was hoping. I did not think it was going to be as abrupt as what went down. I thought that I thought that they might get a kiss, and maybe she'd be like, oh, like maybe pull back and be like, not maybe love it or whatever. But I thought that a kiss would have happened.
Oh wow! So she does say she's enjoying getting to know him. She doesn't. She's still not. She still can't get a handle on his personality, whether he's being serious or not, if he's like, cheeky or not. And so she does.
And like Curtis was, like, you know what I mean? Like she's all hung on Curtis. Ronnie
I think
really
there's
like,
something to familiarity of knowing somebody, right? Like knowing them personally, like the Indian Scott of it all, right? I think that's what it was with her and Curtis, because she knows Scott, and she also wanted Scott, and I was just like, none of these guys. None of these guys. So she says though she's not ready to kiss him yet, and she's like, "Did you want to kiss?" And he's like, "Well,
why would he take you up there to the terrace? Come on now." He's
like, "Well, I was open to it. I thought like you wanted it. I would be here, to meet you like that way, but." It's fine. We'll get there. She's like, yeah, maybe we'll get there. And so we do
not
see
not maybe.
Yeah, it's like it's not
him. I'd be like, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
I think he took it on the chin, and like even when he's explaining it to people, he's like, I've never been pied like that in my life.
Anita says the build up to the pieing was crazy.
Oh my god.
And Joyful Ruby says Curtis is tall, so there's that. Luca chats the cat and gives her a hug and says, "Are you okay?" And she's like, what is the public seeing that I'm not seeing? He's like, I think the public's seeing what we're all seeing in here too.
Like what you seeing?
Like the slow burner who's not a slow burner. He's like, no, he's like, no. He's like,
she's nothing like, happening.
He says like nothing is happening, but I don't want you to think that it's you. It's not you. It's him. Right. He's like, it's all him. So don't you be upset. I was like, the fact that you have me sitting here appreciating Luca Beach, Nas.
I know. It was like shocking.
Nas. When I catch you, Nas.
I thought you're gonna date him. You're gonna catch him and date him because he's
the catch of the season. I said when we walked into the villa.
She said the worst of the worst. She would not date him. I would take up for you, Tamika. I remember you said the worst of the best of the worst.
Anita says the stove was off. When I catch you, Nas, because
Luca.
How dare you? So Nas and Kat chat again, and he realizes that she needs someone to like beeline for her. And I'm like, no, she needs someone to actually do something. Not beeline, do something. So Kaz does tell Gabby she's not feeling anything. And I was like, not surprised. Ron wanted to kiss her. She's just not feeling it. And Gabby chats to Kaz about it, and she says it's okay. She's like, and basically Gabby says all the men in there are shit. Mm-hmm. And Kaz agrees, and I was dying laughing.
She was like, he tried to make me a fruit platter. And Gabby was like, just because he put some fruit on a plate doesn't mean you have to like it.
She's like, maybe I should have kissed him. She's like, no, you should not have kissed him.
My God. Maybe she should have. Just to see if there's something there. But I don't think there was ever going to be
something there for Ron, with Ron and Kaz at all. He's not her type. I mean, to be fair, her type walks in this episode, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like she knew that he was not her type, right? So we do see Kat saying she's like kind of not sure if she's like just grasping at things at this point. Like, what should she do? And the girl's like, your feelings are valid. He needs to step up. Like, it's not on you at this point. And Naz, though, doesn't understand why he's getting cooked. And Lucas says, because everybody sees that you're not feeling it. Grace comes in and you're making a beeline for her. Obviously, it's you. So, that's why you're getting cooked.
Right.
So, in the middle of the night, this is nighttime now. They're all getting ready for bed. And then in the middle of the night, Elma tells Ronnie she loves him.
What was that
it was
about?
Love you. Like, I think it was just like love you. Like, I don't think it was like I'm in love with you. Like, I don't think it was that. I think it was just like throw away.
Let's hope. I don't know.
But it shouldn't have even been a friendship love. Like, he hasn't even earned a friendship love at this point. Like, it just was like, where did this come from?
So Naz and Kat chats again. And at this point, she's like, you know what? After, like, she talks to herself, talks to the girls. She's not liking the way that she feels. The public obviously don't agree that they are a good couple. So I agree what she does here. She ends it.
Yeah.
He agrees. Hi, KB. How are you? Long time no say.
Hello.
Draper Ruby says it's probably because I think Theo's the most beautiful human ever. All these guys just seem so mediocre compared to Kaz's ex, who's with Olivia now. So I can't. His judgment is off.
But
they're still together.
Yes.
It's also a Cancer-Taurus relationship.
I can't stand Olivia.
No, I mean, we know we don't like her, but he doesn't see that side of her. He sees like she's very like womanly and all that stuff.
Baby's back to be the Rogaine Ronnie public defender. And Jeremy says I thought the same thing about Olivia, Kat, but Kaz is studying. Yeah, no. Sorry, Theo. Yeah, judgment gone for me. Cool.
Yeah, me too.
Especially knowing what I know it has happened on and off the challenge, and I don't watch the challenge, that she still acts the same way that she was acting post Love Island USA season 3 with Cash. And so it's like, I'm sorry, that's not a
and the way she did her supposedly friend on the challenge,
that's what I'm saying. She did the same thing to Cash.
She tries to act like she's a girl,
did the exact same thing to Cash on the chat. Yeah, so she's not different. She's still the same. I don't get it. I don't understand. So I'm going to side out your judgment at that point. KB says, yes, I've been MIA, but had to prepare ahead of this. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We were just talking about that before we started. We're praying for everybody because we all in this mess together.
Yeah. I mean, I've been talking about it all day, especially with the crash that happened and like his response to it. I'm just like, Wow.
And then there was another one today, another plane crash.
I loosely saw that. I didn't look into it, but
Yeah.
in Philly, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Danita says my friend is still holding out the hope that Kaz and Theo.
No, tell them to
let it go.
No,
Cut
watch
it with scissors. Just let it
X
go.
on the Beach, Celebrity X on the Beach 2. They talked for a bit, and she's not feeling him anymore at all. And yeah, they're not getting back together. No.
KB says Cocaine Kaz is too.
Mm-hmm.
Jerfaru says I was confused by his choice of Olivia after Kaz to be care. Yeah, no, we got it. Everybody should be confused. There's no reason. So Kat Nas though agrees that it's amicable. They're still friends. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. And then Montel arrives. So I'm going to preface this by saying knew Montel was coming in because they had said Montel insisted that he was coming in for who? Who do you guys think that Montel was coming in for?
Grace.
No.
Oh,
No.
Catherine.
He was only coming for Catherine. He was only coming for Catherine. He was only coming for Catherine. Grace's name was never even mentioned. And we were like, really? Because Montel, if you wanted Catherine after y'all season, why didn't you pursue Catherine?
Exactly. And that's what he says later on in the thing. If it was gonna be something, we would have already had it be something. Really? Okay. Okay.
So yes, so he already, and then he had ended up with Leah, and even after he chose Leah, he kept saying that, oh, he was never going to choose Catherine on his season. I watched the season. I covered the season.
Right.
So I did not understand why the producer sent in Montel of all freaking people for Catherine, because it was clear that they sent him in for Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was clear that he obviously lied to them about what he came in there to do.
And that's why they spoiler alert.
Yeah. So everybody here agrees that mouth breather Montel is a no for me. Montel lied to get back on.
Yeah.
And Montel made an enemy.
Me too. We beefing now forever.
Yeah, like I didn't care for him on season 10. Now we beef it. Mm-hmm. Those producers taught him a big lesson quickly for lying about coming. Yes, the public and we're not going to get to it probably this episode, but
yeah, I haven't even seen it yet. I'm on that episode right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So same. I haven't gotten to watch it.
That's right.
Yes, Silly Pride. Yeah. But yes, yeah. No, we don't need him.
Scott, no, I thought
please, no.
Please. Again, if anything was going to happen after the season, it would have happened.
I cannot see his face again. I just can't.
No,
I didn't even want Whitney doing a TikTok with him. I'm like,
I was like,
that's her bestie, Scottisha. But the thing is with Scott, he's been asked, and he said he's not, like, she doesn't need saving. He's not going in for her. He doesn't want to do Love Island again. And I'm going to tell you guys, he also, this is a huge spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. He cannot go on Love Island Allstars because he is already recorded Perfect Match season 3. He can't come on this show. He's out of contract. He went on a Netflix show. He cannot come back here. Him and a bunch of other people cannot go on Love Island shows right now because they're under contract with Netflix. And those people include Justine, Ray, Carrington, him, and I think one other person from the Love Island universe. So not happening. Okay. And I don't know how things end up. We've been hearing rumors. I'm still trying to figure it out. But Scott ain't coming back on the show. And thank God for that. Leave her alone. Let her find somebody else. I agree. I don't know what they were thinking about Montel. But no. No, absolutely not. Draper Ruby, exactly. I never need to see him on Love Island again.
Never ever.
If we can tolerate Casey, we can. I'm not tolerating. You're tolerating.
I don't want to tolerate Casey. I want him.
I would
gone
choose not
too.
to. I would choose not to. I'd have him jump this second. I would have him not cast. Like
all the folks he named who. Okay, we'll discuss perfect match when it's time to come up. But yeah, no. So yes, Montel arrives and Kat right off the bat is super attracted to him. Now, when I saw it, I had looked up. So Montel is forget what. Damn it. But his sign was better with Kaz. I forget what sign.
I think it's a Capricorn.
Might be. Yes. Because is Curtis a Capricorn? Who else is a Capricorn?
Curtis is
Montel?
Aquarius. Montel. Wait, who are you talking about? Montel.
Marcel was Marcel.
Marcel's a Capricorn.
Yes. So yes, he's his sign when we were looking at it is like, oh, like he's probably gonna feel the pull of Kaz, but he lied to them and told them he was going in there for Catherine. So let's see how this played out. And it played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out. But we're going to talk about his first interest. So he does chat to the lady. He says that he's really interested in getting to know all of them and seeing where things can go.
He's a Capricorn.
Okay. And so then we have the kissing challenge, which is a girls only kissing challenge. And so
stolen right from Love Island season 6.
Yeah. So listen.
And games. Like it's a mix of that and games, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did not really write down much of what happened here.
Let's move through.
Yeah. But we see in the middle of it, Harriet walks in. Kisses,
and all the guys have all of them their headphones on, so they couldn't hear like the girls' reaction. But like, oh, that's it, and you can see stank face Elma, like you know. But Harriet does walk in, and she does go down the line and kiss the guy. The kisses didn't look good to me, to be honest.
They didn't.
But
she ended up like 4th or 5th anyway, right? Oh no, 6th.
She was 4th.
It seemed like when people were kissing Ronnie, it was painful to them. It was like him and him and Scott and Casey, they were like
4th, yeah. It didn't look good, but Ronnie's and hers look good. And
he knew exactly who that was. He knew exactly who that was.
And it's so funny because she kisses all the guys and they're all like, "Who's that?"
Right.
Harriet. And then she kisses Ronnie, and Ronnie's like, "Oh shoot, that's Harriet." He says to whoever was next to him. It was Scott, I think, because Scott was like, "Oh, she." It felt like she was preparing for the person next
to me. Yeah.
I gave her a 7.
I mean, it was so observant. He was like, "Oh, that wasn't even a real kiss. I think she was trying to hurry up with me because she was preparing for the person next to me."
Yeah. And so, listen, Ronnie, coupled up with Elma, been pursuing Elma all this time, gets kissed by his ex, knows that it's her,
back in love,
knows that it's her, off the bat, blindfolded,
he can't see. All he could do is feel them lips, and he knew whose lips those were.
And he probably was wearing her perfume and stuff like that. He probably could smell her as well.
Yeah, he probably did smell her. Yeah.
Gives her
a 10. 10s across the board.
Oh, and that face of Elma.
Elma was pissed.
She was pissed. But I'm saying, if you're going to pursue somebody,
I want a 10. Yeah, give you a 10.
He's like, in front of everybody. I want that old thing back. So 10.
And I'm letting it be known I knew who she was before I gave her the 10. So I'm intentional with it. I already knew it was you, boo, and I gave you the 10 because I want you to know I want you.
Baby, listen, when you know, no need to waste time. Elma, Not you calling her Elmo like Ryan. Like, that's so funny. This recapper I listened to calls her Elmo. That's so funny. But yeah, so Elma's like, wow, so is this unfinished business? So
like, there's no reason for, to get up like bent out of shape. There really isn't. Like, it's his ex-girlfriend. Sorry, you lose. Like, you know what I mean? If he's interested in pursuing it, you're on Love Island.
He gave her a 10.
It sucks. I'm sorry that you decided to start something with Ronnie and he has an ex-girlfriend that's going to come back into the villa. That sucks. But like, she needed to handle this, in my opinion, better, because she just looked sour and like annoyed. Like, just buy into the fact that like he didn't know, his feelings got stirred up, and unfortunately he has more feelings for his ex than he does for you, and he wants to pursue that. Like, take it on the chin, not be such a whinger about it. It's so annoying. I'm like,
and that's why I was very surprised. We're annoyed by this, right? And we're annoyed by her behavior moving forward, right? But the rest of the public is not, because spoiler alert, she gets the best girl. So I'm very confused. It's like the public is like siding with her.
But understand, UK public and US public, two totally different things, girl.
Yeah.
Two totally different things. There's stuff that they vote that we would never do, because
she was bitter. Like, her whole attitude, because guess what? The red flag was when he kissed Kaz in that Garden of Eden. That already told you right then, and you continue to pursue him. You had another option come in. Ronnie trying to tell you, look, I think you worth more than that. You ain't got to put up with that. I'm here. Then you don't tell me how to live my life and create all this drama, and you still want to be with Ronnie, so you get what you get. And that's what it is. Like, I was like, she's so whack for this. She is so whack.
He has history with Harry. Elmo, just hold this out.
Sorry, like, that sucks, but you lose.
You lose.
And V points out, the UK has bad judgment, no events.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's a spoiler alert. So at the end of the day, they confront Harriet. The girls rush her over. It's like, what's the unfinished business? What's good? She's like, well, I want to talk to Harriet. I mean, to Ronnie. I like, give me a second. She said she just wants to also chat to others, and the girls tell her, well, he said that y'all were showmans. I was like, no, he didn't. He never said that. I was like, he never said
that word. They took it and ran with it. Like,
no, well, we realized that it was Marcel that said something about that.
Right.
Yeah. And they're using it against Ronnie. And I was like, no, he never said that. What are you guys talking about?
Ekin-Su.
Out
and wrong. She won't even there. Stern, boy. She's stirring that pot.
So they asked her if she has any unfinished business. She said, I don't know. But, she's like, and they're like, oh, but he gave you a 10. She's like, oh, but that wasn't like challenge. He didn't even know it wasn't me. It wasn't that big of a They're like, he knew it was you. He told me. Look at that. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. And and then we're hearing Ronnie on the other side. Oh yeah, my head's gone. So
I mean, I do think that they planned this, to be honest.
Oh yes.
Like, I do think that whether they were actually together or not, but I'm sure that they're like, hey, if you're going on and I'm going on, want to work on this together and see if we can win this game. I think it's a calculated story.
I'm
fine with it. I'm fine.
So I'm not mad. Like, it's more believable than the other stuff, so I'm not mad.
Listen, Dreadful Ruby says it. Maybe they're faking it. He knew she was coming in. I'm eating.
Exactly.
I'm fine.
Like, he just seems so instantly intense and never really let up. It's good acting. If it's not acting, agree.
Exactly. That's what I was saying in my recap. I'm like, listen, like, he's putting in a lot of work, and if it's not inauthentic, okay. But like, he's doing
we've never seen him gravel like this. We've never seen it.
Like just get me the shore. That's all I'm asking. Make me believe it. Give me a good time. Hand me the drinks. All I can eat buffet. All I ask.
Exactly.
That's all I ask. That's all the show. It's a short show, guys. 6 weeks. I will take it. Yeah, Ekin is the producer parent. They hoped Joey would be last season. Absolutely. I said whatever bag they gave Joey Essex, they probably gave her probably near close to it. It was like, come on, Ekin, we need you. And that's all she's there for.
Yeah.
So we do see Curtis is upset that Ekin was going in on kisses with the guys. And I was like, okay.
But how did he find that out again? Because they were blindfolded.
No, because he was asking because she won, right?
She won.
So he was like, oh, like what was Ekin doing, like to make you guys rate her so high, basically? And like, was she touching all up on you or whatever? And so he was they're looking for a fight. They're also the producer like pod stirring couple at this point, because like I don't think that they care about each other that way. It's obviously not a big it's a kissing challenge, right? So it's like swear like hard, and she goes like this, like who cares? She kisses someone and goes like this, like who cares? And for him to just jumping ahead a bit, but to sleep outside because he needs space because of this, people be like, oh, he's so mature, he's such a mature man, like he knows what he needs. I'm like,
no,
loser behavior.
No, right. Curtis is the same season 5 Curtis that from what we're seeing right now. I've not seen any difference in Curtis. Yeah. KB says, well, we already knew. I'm Team Ronnie. Sign me up for the Beyonce's and Bob Hillary. Absolutely. And Danita says, either they planned this or Ronnie was like, I'm going. And Harriet said, oh, you want to play games? Cool, me too. Whichever one. I like it. I like it. Keep it coming.
Yes, I like it. Because it was boring. It's now starting to pick up.
Yeah, seriously. Because I was like struggling through the episodes and I was like, can we dump more people? Like, dump her, dump him. Like, please. But we do see that Harriet doesn't want her experience this season to be all Ronnie. See, we Taurus. When we get it, we get it.
That's what I'm saying. So even if they are planning this, they doing it perfectly, because it's not like she trying to fall right in big place. She like, look, I don't want to do the same thing I did last time. It was all Ronnie. That's all I did. Go back and forth between him and another girl. I want to explore my options.
Yep.
So let me get another Ron.
Yep. And so we do see Kaz say again, Montel is so her type. She's ready to board that ship. Ekin gets pulled by Curtis and he refuses. She refuses. She tells him to come back in 5 minutes because she is mad at the comments that he was making during the kissing challenge. So he's mad that she went in on the guys and touchy-feely in the kissing challenge. She's mad because all the comments. I've never kissed that girl before.
What is she mad over? Because he said I never kissed her before. It's the truth. He never kissed her before.
That's what he said.
I don't think it's a big deal. But I think the reason why she was like getting all up about it is because he was just making it seem like that she wasn't like the prize anymore. It's just like, ooh, I got Ekin. I don't know. I think she just felt a little bit icky about it. And it was also probably put on. Like she was finding a reason to be mad. But they both did the exact same thing. Who cares?
Yeah, KB says Ekin and Curtis both moonwalking and cha-cha sliding all over the villa with this. And they were. And Danita says, I want to unsubscribe from the telenovela of Ekin and Curtis. I am tired.
I'm tired, boss.
and they're giving Rachel secondhand embarrassment. and Ekin was literally searching for anything to pick a fight. I agree.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And yes, Ronnie is a cancer. Ronnie is a cancer. So we do see Harriet gets pulled by Ronnie
That's why she
And-
like him. Isn't KB a Cancer? I think that's why she like him.
Harry gets pulled by Ronnie, and she asks if they can talk privately. She doesn't want to talk about their history in front of the entire villa because, again, she's not coming in here to make this the Ronnie show. And yes, KB is a Cancer strong. And so the girls are watching them, and almost like, where's he taking her? The secret garden. And they decide to go up to the terrace. Well, from the terrace, it's like what Soul Ties used to be in season 5.
Yes, they can hear everything.
US season 5, if you ever watched it, they had their Soul Ties was like right above the awning of where like the day beds and stuff were, so you could hear what was happening in Soul Ties. They moved it in season 6 to farther back and made it like a hot tub bed, and so it's a little more secluded. But this terrace is basically the same thing. You literally can hear every friggin' thing from up on that terrace. So they're listening to the entire conversation Harriet and Ronnie are having, and he asks how she's doing. He's like, fine, and she asks how he's doing. She's fine, and she's like, well, what's going on with you and your couple? And he says, no, like, things are good. I just like want to see where you're at. And she's like, well, I'm sure things are good. I'm surprised you want to see where I'm at because you told them we were a showmance.
I never said that. Who said that?
Who said that?
And like, you know, he's defending his name, his honor for his woman. Like, as much as like I find him annoying or whatever, like, go off, Ronnie. You didn't say it, and like you want to make it known.
KB says Harriet and Ronnie can be a good match once they get past their walls. Both can be guarded. You sort of see that with both of them, to be honest. Yes, I agree. Like, not this episode. I've seen pieces of episode 12 and some of the conversation. I was like, oh yeah, it switched now. So like in 11, Harriet was nice and open and ready and pursuing, and Ronnie was closed off. And now Ronnie is open and in love and ready to like.
Well, and like she's actually setting her boundaries, right? And she's saying, and even like it's not in this episode, but even in the next one, she talks about the fact that like, well, you did this and you kind of led this person on and you kind of did this, like, and she's being honest. Yeah, and he's taking it.
In my DM, you got people DMing me about stuff you doing, like you were doing the most.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So we see the places swap. So if they're faking it, good on them, because I believe it. Like, I really do feel like they're working out their bullshit from outside the villa in the villa. Yeah, so I kind of believe it. Just me.
I'm eating it up. I'm eating it now.
Yeah. So he said, well, I have been feeling like something's missing, which we knew. So also, we know that's true. He said, and then you came in, and the kiss was the same kiss. He's like, it's always how you kiss. And he's like, my heart went up. And he said, I've been open. But I don't feel like anything with her was as strong as it ever was with you. And he had told the boys that like all his memories, the good ones and the bad ones, started just flooding back. And which makes sense, right? But when Elma hears that downstairs, she is pissed.
He's lying to me. You've been lying to me this whole time. I can't believe you. I'm like it just looks so bad because they didn't have anything. They've been talking to each other for like 2 weeks in the villa. Like they don't know each other that well. Maybe they've kissed, and maybe they've done a little bit more. I don't know, but like they don't have a relationship. So she has to stop being bitter because it's too embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, were they doing stuff at night and we didn't see it? But every time the camera pans to them at night when they were in the bed, they were not doing that. So I'm like, why is she acting so like they were so like
But she's been acting like that since day one, though. Remember, like she got upset because She
Kaz
she
kissed
said,
him,
yeah, like Ekin came in and she thought that he, like, kind of what Gabby was doing with Grace and Casey. She thought that Ekin was going to take Ronnie.
Yeah. Oh, yep. That's true. You're right. You're right.
That was day one. She's been like this. She's
weird.
just wanted Ronnie, and I understand it, but girl, Danita, it's the context of how. That's what we're saying.
That's what they say. That's what they say, Danita. They say it was a throwaway. I love you. I don't even know why you're saying throwaway. I love you in bed after 4 days. I don't know, but that's what they say.
I don't know. So yeah, he does say that his feelings for her came back, and Harriet says scary. And then he says, to close out episode 11, well, you know, it's always been you.
Always been you.
Always been you.
I mean, Elma would not want to be hearing that.
No.
Listen, guys, I'm sorry.
That's a good line, honey. That's a good line.
It was a
When
good
the
line.
men tell you it's always been you, that's
you're like me.
It gets me every time. It gets me
I got
every time.
goosebumps just thinking about it right now.
Give it a wild response. Like,
it's always been you.
it's always been you.
That's so romantic, right?
It is. It is. I didn't think Ronnie had it in him.
I didn't either. Listen, so like Danita say here, Team Ronnie and Harry. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know, me neither.
I said coming into the season, because I heard they both were going to be on. I did not want a play out of season 11, but we're getting like the opposite of it,
Yes.
but also it. And I'm just like, I like it. I'll take it.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
So I don't know, guys. I kind of like am here for it. Jessica felt nothing.
Jessica, you're a Taurus. You should be feeling this. I think this should be working on you. No.
Jessica, board the ship. Jessica, board the ship. Come on.
The Ronnie and Harriet ship.
Flabbergasted. She said, "Wait, that's not in the script."
Could you saw the way she looked? Her mouth was like, she was like,
oh, okay. That's what we got.
Like maybe she's actually starting to buy it. She's like,
right. She's like, wait a minute, we ain't talking about that. He pulling out us.
B said she hears Rally Bells after that. KB says, I'm a Cancer thought unswayed, but love that for Harriet. And Rachel said, Ronnie is a menace. Cheated on the outside, always been you.
You're right. He is. He said
Listen,
he's mature.
oh my God.
He's mature. He's a different person. He's doing things different now. He realizes it's her. He loves her. It's her.
But I mean, KB points out that they might have planned to come in, but I don't think that they're faking things between them. No, I've said this. I do feel like they have a connection. I don't feel like this fake. Mm-hmm. I really don't.
But isn't that crazy work that she telling I love you, Elma telling Ronnie in bed I love you, Ronnie telling Harry in the sunlight I love you. It's like crazy.
So yeah, Danita points out here, Ekin's trying to get an Emmy nom, and I also don't believe, guys. Listen, I don't believe none of them. Right now, the only people I believe these two.
Can you believe we're saying this? Is Ronnie?
Can you believe that we're saying it?
No.
We watched 11. We covered 11 the entire time, guys. And we still believe Ronnie and Harriet over all these other people. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's to tell you how bad this
is. Jessica was May 12th. Oh.
Oh, Jessica's a cat. Okay.
I thought she was May 12th. Who's that I'm thinking of? Maybe it's
maybe the other Jessica. There's another Jessica, so maybe this is the other Jessica. But yeah, so listen, that is it for what we're going to cover for this week. I'm going to try to come back this weekend. It'll either be just me or me and one of these other two ladies to try to get up to speed in these episodes. Because the good things are starting to happen now. I'm behind too. Yeah.
I'm up to episode 16. So let me know. I can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I've almost done the next episode after this. So
okay. Yeah, so I'll try to see if I can type out my little notes to get us up to at least the end of this week.
Okay.
But yeah, so again, to reiterate, season 8 and 10 were very successful because they had diversity. Even 5, we are not there.
No,
we are not there, and it's annoying me.
Catherine. Yeah.
I feel bad for Catherine. We're going to see that things just get tremendously worse for her in the next couple episodes, and I hate to see it. Like, it's going to make me cry.
I'm up to 16 in there, and she's doing bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, on another note, Jessica does point out that they should bring in more Casa people then, because you keep talking about iconic. You brought in Tina, and she was not iconic. I'm sorry.
Why did they say that? Iconic. Why did they say that?
And CJ agrees. More Casa people, they will perform since they will be thirsty for fame. Agreed. Like, we're okay with the new storylines, because some of these storylines, this is not it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is not it. So Jessica says this show clearly sees the formula that works, but they just be fighting. They do. Why do they fight the formula that works?
They believe like it can't be it. It can't be what's making it successful. It can't be. It's like they don't want to believe it, I think.
But they're losing views every day. I know people who are just like, no, I stopped watching. I've stopped watching. There's no reason. So I don't know. I can't. But KB says that the representation will be minuscule, unfortunately, because of the last couple seasons. I guess, but I mean, the couples that are working right now, the latest season, are all the people of color. So I don't understand why you don't invest in them. But iconic Casa girl, and that's why she brought chaos. Bring in more Casa people. Fair. I think that's a fair.
I Casa girl that with Millie and what's his name, Liam.
What's that? Like, Lucy? No, Diamante. They should have brought in Diamante, but that was another black girl, and they should have brought in somebody for Diamante. But yeah, so listen, that is going to be us. Jessica says Soul Ties is crazy.
Soul Ties is crazy. That will always be
so much happened.
That is always
even this season. But yes, and speaking of this season, so excited for Serena. Congratulations to Serena. She is now probably the Love Island girl with the top agency in the world. So that's amazing. And I see big things. If you haven't seen, she's done photo shoots. She was just at Paris Fashion Week. The girl has a lot of things
going to the Grammys.
And now, as Rachel said, she is going to the Grammy. She also did a Grammy interview. So did Janae.
Yes, and that was cute.
The host of the Grammy red carpet for CBS, where Grammys will be on network, is going to be Taylor Hale, winner of Big Brother 24. Listen, all my girls.
Yes. Is Janae going to the Grammys? Wow. Is Janae going to? Because she did an interview with Doechii.
Yeah, I have to see if Janae posts anything, but she hasn't said if she's going. I think she also bought a house and might be moving, and we're still not sure. If
bought a house?
What? Yeah.
Where? Yeah. In Vegas?
In Vegas. Mm-hmm.
Is Kenny gonna move to Vegas?
We don't know. Not right now. They said they wouldn't move in together, at least
not for them to move in together, for them to just be closer, because he'd be missing her.
But I think the move would only happen when they're moving in together, and they both said a year. Right? Like that. I think that was the conversation. Anyway. But yeah, so we'll see if Janae, because Janae also did do an interview. She did one with Doechii. Serena did one with Coco Jones, and Taylor did one with Shabuzi. So we will see, we will see if Janae, since the other two are going to the awards, if Janae will also be going to the awards. I'm excited for all three of them personally. So yes, I need y'all look at what's happening. Invest in these people.
Did y'all see it? Also, let me just say, real love and connections And like you said, Serena was a slow burn, but she was really in there for love. And that Fenty campaign, that kiss, the way he be holding under them thighs, like this is when you just come in there and find real love, you'll get to do the brand deals together because everybody is going to want to see that and they'll pay for it.
Well, look at like genuine. Even their most winningest couple here, they didn't win the show, was Molly May and Tommy, and
they came in what, fourth?
Third or fourth, yeah, like they were top 4. I can't remember how high they got, and it's because they had a real love story that actually worked. They were this young love, and they're both so gorgeous. And he's a boxer, and she's now an influencer, and she's getting all these product lines. And then they have a baby, and you know, like we were following their story because we believed in their love. And I don't know why people are not realizing that that's what the formula is.
That's the formula.
Bankable.
You have to make us believe it.
Make us believe it.
Yeah. Like what like you don't just get to have a brand deal because people have seen you on TV. It's because you want to be telling a story. You want to be appealing to a certain audience. You want people to see their story in you or like be rooting for you. Something. There has to be something going on, not just you being on my screen for 6 weeks. So they don't seem to get that. They don't seem to understand that.
I can't stand Josh out the villa, but the man came in, made us believe it, helped our girl to win, and kept it moving. Like now he's got a new girlfriend that was his old girlfriend. It is what it is. But I'm just saying,
Mimi's Josh.
Oh my god, I thought you were talking about Josh and Sophie, and I was like, wait, what?
Oh no, Josh and Sophie's still going strong.
I love them. They're so
they're very cute. Yeah. KB points out best part of the thing that came out of the season was also the friendships, and they were genuine with enjoying each other, and that has lasted. Absolutely. And Jessica says authenticity is the key. You can find people who make good TV and also be genuine. Exactly. Because again, Serena, doxing, when Danita and I were talking about that today, that it's like when you look at the doxing, genuinely, usually you would be like, I don't want these two to ever be together ever again. And then, but just the connection that they had and just realizing that they were both in love with each other, right? Like genuinely in love with each other. And that's why the emotions that were coming out on that doc, is why they both won the show. But also people literally came and watched the show from that point on to the rest of the season.
People went dressed as that doc scene for their Halloween costume.
Exactly.
Halloween costume. That bow, and like that was it was an impact because we believed it and we've seen it was I'm having goosebumps again talking about it. So there must be something real going on. I wish that people would remember, like the producers, to remember it's not just the people that you're bringing on, it's the authenticity that is the key, and the people that are going on to realize that, like, hey, what's bankable is being authentic always, no matter what.
Always be you. The reason why we're now because I've seen Ekin-Su on different shows, and this is not the real Ekin-Su. Ekin-Su is bitchy. She's not a girl's girl.
No.
She is a little more demure. If you watched how she played Traders and stuff, this is not Ekin-Su. This is producer pot stir Ekin-Su, which might work, but it's not work. Like we're not going to believe in her relationship.
Right. Well, I definitely don't believe in this relationship. Maybe with the next person, but not this one.
Yeah. So KB says both the romance and the friendships have to be genuine. If you expect people to invest on them outside the show, if you expect people to invest in the show, continue to watch the show. So like you're losing viewers. People are tuning out because nobody is invested in these couples. So
real connection is what people are interested in, whether it's platonic or romantic.
Exactly.
Truth. It's reality because we want it to be real.
We want it to be real.
or like I want to buy it. I want to buy it, or it's actually real.
That's what I'm saying. Sell it to me. You can sell me the dream. Make it good. Make it something I can eat, and I will be okay.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn that once the ship sails, and that's it. Like, it's okay. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for coming through this journey. We're trying to get through these. I've been asked more than once to make sure that I keep up with Love Island All Stars, so I'm trying. So where can the people find you, Miss T Joy?
Miss T Joy on all social media platforms.
Yes, thank you. And Chantel, where can they find you? What are you working on?
Just talking about the challenge All-Stars 5 Rivals. That's been really fun. Also, I did just before I came on here today talk with Drew from Angel Cake Entertainment Channel about the most recent episode of The Traitors, which was an episode.
It was a mess. A hot mess.
I was so anxious the whole time that I was watching it, and like it was so good. So we definitely recapped that episode today. So check that out on my channel, Reality Realness with 3 S's. You know.
Yes. Yeah. So speaking of Traders, Miss T Joy and I will be back for Traders with Janelle Michelle sometime in the next couple of days as well. And then we've also got to figure out when we're going to cover grand season of The Bachelor. Yeah.
Have we talked about episode 1 yet or no?
No. Yeah. We just did a cast assessment.
I was like, I feel like I talked about it, but no, I took notes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So we will be back. We will figure out that and if we're doing it on my channel or Chantel's channel.
Maybe we'll alternate weeks.
Yes. I think that might work. So thank you guys for joining us. And as always, you can follow me on Entertainment in Color and Entertainment and Co Media on Twitter. And as I said, guys, I'm covering All Stars, but Love is Blind season 8, I believe it is, starts February 14th. Valentine's Day. I will be covering that on my Patreon. So I will be live actually watching and then reviewing on my Patreon. So if you want that coverage, it will not be here. It will definitely all be on my Patreon. I am also covering some TV shows, The Way Home. I'm also going to try to do Watson. And if anything
that was good. I like the pilot.
Yeah, any other thing that I find that I feel like is interesting that I could just watch and then, talk it through and then give you a review. That'll be on my Patreon. But otherwise, what we told you, we'll be recapping here. So you can sign up for my Patreon. My Patreon, like I said, is $5. And then you can also live watch for $8. So I'm excited. Join me on Patreon and also join us for our coverage of The Traitors and The Bachelor. And I think that's right now all we're covering along with Love Island All Stars. So we'll be catching up on Love Island All Stars. Thank you guys. And we will see you next time.
Bye.